all the people watching, they like to kind of go back, retroactively look and say, what were we talking about on the open bar that evening? So
Absolutely.
yeah, whenever you can get that going, bud.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, live. We typically do like a little live Google Doc right next to the video of the open bar that just kind of like it's like the typer in what do you call the typer in the courtroom?
Yeah. Good job.
What?
This is the new guest rookie hazing. I see. I love it. This is
what are you talking about? This is no hazing. We demand a show sheet.
This is bring us the show sheet, or you can just go to bed right now. That's what this is, Liver Good. But to punch you square in the liver bad is what I'm about to do.
Your liver bad.
I'm sorry. Let me calm
Never heard
down.
that one before.
Let me calm down. If nothing else, I'm original, Ryan. 100%.
Yeah, but it sounds better when J Mike says it.
It does. That's true. Very true.
My goodness.
This liver good, baby. Tonight on the open bar, it's got to feel real good. Ryan, I don't know if you realize this, but I did press that teensy little live button. So don't say anything about my mom or your mom or anyone's mother. It's definitely something that's not allowed as far as on the show sheet and things related to that. Anyways, we're live, man. Hey.
Hey.
It's the open bar. It's Tuesday. It's 9:30 Eastern. A little late tonight. We were just looking for a good opportunity to find something funny that Madman could say, but I just couldn't quite hit the button.
Yeah, that's on the premise that Madman has funny things to say.
Right.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I found out on Dynasty Game Night that I'm really not that sharp or quick anymore, though. I needed extra time to come up with answers, so I didn't get any of the answers right. I think I finished with like negative points or something. I was like, this needs to be like a college exam where I can take up all the time and turn my test in last. I'm like, this isn't fair. I'm never gonna.
You went on game night and you left with negative points. So not even like
I might have had one. I mean, it was brutal. I came in last place, and of course, Bosch crushed everyone, almost like he had all the answers in advance. I'm not sure.
Indictment.
I'm not throwing that out there. I don't want to indict this guy on that, but yeah, it's sketchy. Yeah.
You got that on the show sheet, Ryan?
Okay, Bosch is sketchy. Got it. Okay.
Well, he's got all these tricky rules, and I just wonder, what?
You'd think with all of the things he has to maintain throughout all the leagues that he's taking care of, that he just has like an easy button to where he can just manipulate and win everything. You'd think, right?
I think so. He's got something in those. He's got something behind those spreadsheets. I haven't figured it out.
Anybody ever read those bylaws? I don't think so.
It's too hard.
The problem is if you don't, he'll hit you with the Dwight Schrute know your rules gif.
I know.
And you will see that on repeat in your nightmares. It's actually kind of scary.
It's funny. I always ask him, and I'm in a bunch of his leagues now. I always ask him, like, wait a second. So I don't really read them because I feel like I read them and I get further confused. So I just ask him to explain something to me because it's quicker. I don't have time to read all that stuff during the day.
I always feel bad with him though, particularly because I know that he's answering these exact questions for 78 other people on, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I like try for a while. Like I can find this on my own. Like it's kind of a, like, in this day and age, you can always Google or YouTube how to do something. And like, it's not out there, Bosch. Like we need some, you should have made these tutorials, or maybe someone needs to make tutorials for Bosch who actually understands what the hell is going on in any of his leagues. So, yeah, shout out to Bosch. Whatever his handle is, used to be Empire FFL. What is it? John Bosch FF or something?
He's corporate now at John Bosch FF.
He's corporate.
He's corporate.
Those were the days. J Mike, my dude, how are you?
Hey man, fantastic to see your face as always, Gabe. My brother from another mother.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet.
what had happened was Papa was a Rolling Stone.
He was for sure.
To get to the discussion that everyone is looking forward to this evening, draft lottery, NBA. Right, we brought Jeremy on specifically tonight. As big of an NBA fan as he is,
that is not true.
No, man, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad for the group that we have. A couple folks who have joined us before, and then we have a noob, someone that I'm excited to be able to chop it up with because I enjoy what he does. So this is a fun group I'm excited for tonight. Oh, and Gabe, as some may have saw already, if you're listening to this as the live show, and you're watching us on YouTube, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, never late, always on time. We love to be able to give away a shirt or two today on the show. You guys are part of a momentous occasion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we uninvite these three so they can have a shot?
I mean,
just jump into the chat.
If it gets me a chance to get a shirt, I'm dropping out of this call right now.
Yeah. Later.
I don't know if we thought this through.
Yeah, I don't know either, but we'll wing it. It's likely what we do. But one way that I thought that we'd be able to give out a shirt is that for everyone who's currently in the live chat, shoot us a retweet. Gabe has put an actual tweet on Twitter shouting out the live show. If you give us a retweet, anyone gives us a retweet, I will put you in the running for a random. I'll number everyone off. I'll get a random number generator, and whomever's number gets pulled for that, of all the folks that retweet Gabe's tweet for the show, we will shout out ourselves. No, we will not bring the bingo.
Come on.
No, lottery night, man.
Come on.
You know what?
We can assign it to 25 people, right?
Right. Because you only have to pull one. You're right. That's what we'll do. That's exactly what we'll do. Retweet the show. You'll get a shirt of your choice. You can DM me your size, DM me the shirt that you like. Shout out to Trade Addicts, obviously and I'll get to the introductions here in a minute. So I'm sorry, Gabe, but they pioneered the way with the whole store envy thing. We've jumped on with store envy. So it's the open bar. I'm actually going to screw this up and I have it pulled up right here. theopenbar.storeenvy.com. You can choose whatever shirt you want, your size, and we'll get it to you at free of charge. So yes, let's do that, Gabe. Does that work for you?
Absolutely. Speaking of our store, there's probably something weird on our store currently, J. Mike. I don't think I mentioned that to you.
You did not.
Something weird? What?
Okay.
I just pulled it up and I'm nervous now. I don't know where this came from. This one, which one of these is not like the other?
Did you see it?
Yes. Which one of these just doesn't belong? Yes.
Yeah.
I
all right. You see it pops out more than most. Okay. So long story short, we were there's probably going to be a lot of questions after this. So we were having a bachelorette fantasy draft, and with my home league guys, and basically we do a bachelorette fantasy league to determine the order of our real fantasy football league come August. I always have to get on all of my league mates because I'm the commish. I have to do this stupid bachelorette draft and have these guys draft all the bachelors, and I have to get on them countless times. And I was texting one of my good buddies about it, and he was trying to, say that, like, this doesn't matter. We were just kind of going back and forth about how it doesn't matter. I was like, no, yeah, it doesn't matter. And I was actually, a matter of fact, stupid shit matters. And so I just kind of took that and ran with it. And he was like, that needs to be on a poster. And then so I wanted to make a point. It was Saturday evening. I was having a beverage and I was like, I'm just going to make a poster and I'm going to see if he buys it. And so I just put together a dumb poster that says stupid shit matters on the open bar. .storeenvy.com. So if you want that
great
poster,
I love Store Envy.
Feel free to swing on that. J. Mike, you were saying?
I've got nothing, dude. I've got. Let's see who we've got with us. How about that? Right. I've got.
Yeah, we've got 3 people tonight. We'll start with the noobity noobs. Ryan Livergood got that good. He's Michael Jackson bad. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you guys? This is great. There are 4 other big personalities on this show, so I'm gonna try to do my best to hang with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
That possibly cannot be true. See what I did,
And I'm following up. So I'm one of the Fancy Joes. Trey Barrett was on the show, and he was on a pretty maybe kind of famous show that you guys did, because you had was it Hot Takes Frank? What's Frank's Twitter handle? And he was just dropping these crazy hot takes. So that's going to be a tough act to follow in terms of following Trey Barrett. So I'm gonna do my best.
Well, you are the first person to do a live update of the show sheet. Yeah, so that's unique. That puts you out there.
Good job.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, shout out to Fuego Frank. He's actually in the chat. What up, Frank?
Hey.
At HH_Fuego Takes, which should say Fuego Takes for his Italian roots, but whatever, tomato, whatever.
We forgive him. Next guest. Well, okay. Next guest. A second time, Jeremy? Is this your second time?
Yes. Yeah. The first time actually was last, I think it was December, because it was right after we recorded our first episode for Dynasty Trades HQ. Literally like the same week, I think. And that was 75 episodes ago now. So thanks for having me back.
Not the open bar. I was like, no way, J Mike. Have we done that?
75 episodes? What?
And also I was like, since December?
Last year, yeah. December 2017. So that's
17, yeah.
So it's been
too long.
It's been a long time. And I do listen to the show. I don't always tune into YouTube Live, but you guys do a great thing. Everybody loves you guys. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I see tweets and retweets, and people love to come on your show. You're kind of like the late show hosts of the fantasy football world. Like, everybody loves those. That's my point. Did that not get through? I mean, did that not come? That's the message I was trying to get out there.
I get it. I hope that the content is still, relatively okay, because I know that some people hate on the late night shows for,
they have the best green rooms.
I some people might see us as, the Jimmy Fallon cracking an egg on the guest's head. Or is it going to be a hard-boiled egg? Are we playing that game here? We don't know.
Good point.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, and we're happy to have you on, Madman.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Outhouse.
So
she's out. House.
Hey, I am mighty.
I'm not sure what that music video would look like, but
I don't know. We need to do that.
I've been calling for Gabe albums for a while now. I mean, music videos, clearly that should happen, but full-on Gabe music album, I think that needs to happen. And hey, man, if Outhouse ends up on there, I mean, I wouldn't. You have the rights if you'd like it. That's all I'm saying.
He's got a greatest hits already going around.
You already got a feature, bro. You already got a feature with the intro just recently. Of course you're on there.
Oh, man. Dude, if you listen to my show or not, and I don't know why my giant face isn't popping up while I'm talking, I hope you guys can actually hear me.
I see your big face.
And we see your face.
Okay, good. Then it's just me that doesn't get to see my big face. I'm fine with that. Even if you don't listen to the Trade Addicts pod, just go listen to the first minute and a half, and you will hear the greatest minute and a half of your life of Gabe's new opening for the Trade Addicts pod. It is.
I don't know.
Fire is not enough of a phrase. I mean, the kids say lit, but I still don't. I mean, I don't really know what that means.
I know. I refuse to say that too. I'll say that it's tough. I believe you. I think that's probably a great opening. I'm sure it's one of the best, but he just did one for Best Ball Manual, and it's hilarious, awesome, groovy. I dig it. Like, it's so many things all at once. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't have the vernacular here. I don't have the vernacular, but I'm serious. Start another, join another league. Nah. Best ball. It's the best ball. I don't even know how he comes up with this stuff. Like, add another league. I mean, if you can keep a straight face the whole time, there's something wrong with you. And then you end up getting into it like, oh man, genius. It's truly genius. And I think that's right up there with Dynasty. With your Trade Addicts intro. It's got to be. We should have a contest.
Oh, I feel a Twitter poll coming on.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not running that. Y'all can have at it, but there's no way that I'm gonna. I had my fun with fast food, and that didn't involve me. So
that was a good one, though.
Next March, I'm pretty sure we already have it. That's done. I'm making that happen.
Humbling, nonetheless. Thank both of you for saying those kind words. Appreciate it.
Gabe in the chat, and shout out to everyone in the live chat. Gabe, just a quick heads up before we jump into some other things.
You were saying there was a Gabe in the chat. I was like, who?
What?
Who was impersonating me?
Yeah.
And obviously, shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for showing us love this evening and being with us. With the question, not question was posed, but just the thought was posed, saying, "Hey, I want Gabe's album," is what Frank said. And then Ethan Turner, shout out to Ethan, the good doctor, Mr. Turner. He says, "I'd pay for a Gabe album." And then the question that I pose is, "Hey, how much though? Put your money where your keyboard is. How much are you putting up for a Bungie Classics? You know what I'm saying? The greatest hits, Volume 1. Fuego Frank, and you'll like this, Ryan. He says $9.99 plus shipping is my top price.
Big spender.
Big spender. I told him, I said, and handling. You can't just be shipping. You also have to pay for it to be handled.
This has to be one of those late night infomercials compilation of your favorite love grooves. $19.99 for a 3-disc set plus shipping and handling.
J. Cole says my album costs $10. That's like 2 number 3s. I mean, that's we've done the cheeseburger reference before here, J. Mike, and that's I don't know, pretty comparable, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty comparable. But then Har upped him, and this is
now it's an auction. Now it's a John Bosch auction, non-proxy.
Non-proxy, exactly.
He said, "I'd pay $15 flat." It's like, okay. Now we're cooking.
Little man, put that shit in my hand.
So it's getting real.
If that money doesn't show, then you owe me.
That jungle.
The other thing is, I pay $30 if he signs it and personalizes it.
Ooh, Hardy Har.
Yeah, Hardy Har coming in hot. And then the last thing that we'll say about this, Livergood, this is really what the hazing needs to be right now, because the first time that we had Trey on, and I've known Trey now for 3 years. We've been in the same league, Kamikaze, in the first Dynasty League, the Christian McCaffrey rookie season, all that stuff. Nice. And so Trey came on, and I'm not sure if you heard that episode, Ryan, but he gave us one of the smoothest, just most wonderful pickup lines, and I'm talking about just for the ladies specifically, just to be able to say, hey, this is what it is, this is who I am, I need you to love me for me. And it was fantastic. So what he posed in the chat, he wanted to hear your strongest, your smoothest pickup line that you have in your bones. Please, the floor is yours, Ryan Livergood.
That bastard Trey Barrett! I can't believe you did this to me. Guys, I'm a librarian, for God's sakes. I'm a geek. Like you think I know pickup lines? Are you serious? Oh man.
We're waiting, Ryan.
Can I use a lifeline? Can I phone a friend? Can I ask the chat to help me out? Why am I not even seeing? I'm not even seeing the chat right now. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Why is my chat not showing up for me? See?
Finally a believer. There's no chat. I like this guy.
I'm not seeing it. Seriously. Oh my god.
But J Mike, didn't Trey get like pretty much the entire episode to think of a pickup line?
Oh yeah, Trey. I'm like. Yeah, like I listened to that. I caught the tail end of it live. Then I listened to the podcast a couple days later, and he had like 20 minutes to come up with the pickup line. So I don't think this is fair.
Okay, let's do this, Ryan. I'll throw you a lifeline. We're at the 19-minute mark. I have a state-of-the-art iPhone 5S that I'm going
to very nice.
20-minute timer for. Okay, 20-minute timer for on my state-of-the-art iPhone 5S, and at the 20-minute timer for.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the chat here.
I think you found the
chat. I'm at Roto Librarian. My DMs are open, so help me out, fellas. Come on, I need some help.
See, this is the real rookie hazing, is you trying to find the chat.
I don't know why I can't see it. I can see the group chat right here. And oh my God. This is why we should use Google Hangouts and not Zoom. God, I feel lost. All right, I'll figure this out. 20 minutes. Okay, I'll do it.
Wonderful.
Wait, you got 20 more minutes? I'm just kidding.
Was that a pickup line?
I just need 2 minutes, okay? Not even. That's my pickup line. That works.
Man, it's been so long. I'd have to really think like you are right now for a pickup line too. It's hard enough trying to say something sweet to my wife. What did I tell her the other day? Oh, you're my favorite girl. Well, as if I have any more than just her. And then I said it, and I was like, that's kind of awesome. I just made that up. Yeah, you're my favorite girl.
Well, you know what? I've talked to some friends of mine that are not married, do not have a girl, and I'm assuming that you're talking about someone that you're actually married to.
My wife, yeah.
I have no idea. It's not my business. But we were discussing that that you kind of have to hit them up in the DMs nowadays, in Tinder and Bumble or whatever it is. Like, you can't, the old fashioned way of rolling up to the bar and saying, hello, can I buy you a drink, is now like, whoa, creep. What do you have in your hand? What are you slipping into my glass?
Drink, yeah. Good grief.
And so it's, times are changing.
Yes.
Speaking of times are changing.
Segues.
Yes.
Pro.
Obviously, you all have been knee deep into the rookie extravaganza.
Elbow deep is the joke here.
That too.
Whatever you do, you do you. I'm really curious. Because as everyone has highlighted so far in the community, and shout out to everybody who's doing dope work and putting it in podcasts, articles, whatever it may be. Everyone recognizes right now that everyone's rookie boards are all over the place, right? We have a consensus to some degree, top 3 to 4 ish, right? And
yeah. No, I'm agreeing. That was like a really weak agreement, but I am agreeing that the top 4 kind of fluctuate a tad bit, but it's pretty much the same 4 guys. Yeah, you're right. I'm not arguing with you. You're right.
So let me ask you this: of anyone in this draft, if we fast forward to this time next year, who would you put the house on their value being less than it is right now?
Mecole Hardman.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I knew I was going to be happy to have you on tonight, Russ.
Love you, Gabe.
Love you too, babe.
Okay.
I love both of you guys.
Oh.
I love Lamp.
Can I pose a name?
Is Ryan Googling pickup lines, or is he going to try those out at a local bar? Like, what's going on?
Top 100 pickup lines.
Yeah. Sorry, J Mike, continue.
No, I'm just curious, and we can kind of swing this either way. I'm just curious how you guys function in terms of when we're drafting. Obviously, we want to take players that are good and can help us, but also we don't want assets that will decline after a year, right? That's not really something that
right.
we
Appreciation
shoot for, right? Mm-hmm. So exactly, yes, appreciation. Thank you, Jeremy, the sophisticated one of this bunch.
Right? No, yeah.
I keep looking at the DLF rookie ADP, and something's messing with me.
What's that?
We've got TJ Hawkinson currently at 7. Mm-hmm. And all that I hear people typically talk about are how tight ends don't set the world on fire in year 1.
Right.
Will he even be worth a first next year?
Yeah.
Look at Gesicki. His value declined too. He was a first-round pick last year, and then what's he now? And he's somebody to buy low, I think, at this point. But yeah, the tight ends that go in the first round, they don't appreciate generally. You don't see very many George Kittles either that do something their rookie year and then improve from there. It's not it's not standard. That's not what they do. It takes longer to learn that position. So no, you're right. Fant, he might even take longer because he's not getting on the field. Hawkinson's an excellent blocker. I mean, maybe the best in this class, but I mean, he comes to the field ready to play that position and also can catch and do those other things. So you can't discount that at all. You get on the field, you're going to be valuable for that team and fantasy, catching some passes. Either of those guys could decline next year easily if they're not getting any action this season. So yeah, I don't want to take them in the first round where they're going. I like them both, but it's not a great strategy to take them when there are other players that are going around the same spot that have a better chance of, success earlier. The wide receivers, even the wide receivers, and some of the backs that you might like better.
Yeah, but does anyone in our community at this point
tight end then,
Yeah.
Trade for him. I don't know.
But does anyone in this community at this point not know the phrase, wait a year for a tight end and try and buy him low whenever someone's annoyed that you're not? I mean, I feel like it's so obvious these days that there's no real discount on it, unless, Gesicki, couldn't see the field. But there's less put into Gesicki that was put into Fant and to Hawkinson. Sure. Those dudes are seeing the fields, whether the coach wants them there or not. Just because of how much capital they got put into them. But I don't think anyone's going to be, unless you're super competing and want to try to get that ship, I don't think anybody's going to sell Fant or Hawkinson low at this point.
Not now.
Especially if you're drafting them in the first. I mean, I don't think Njoku or OJ Howard or any of that. I don't think maybe Engram did just because his skyrocketed before it went back down. I mean, I don't think any of those guys' values really dropped much. Because I think we're, at least as a community, smart enough for that at this point. It's like one of those tropes that just doesn't work anymore because it's cliche at this point.
So guys drafting them, owners drafting them highly are probably likely to hang on to them just because they spent that equity. They put that equity into the player in the first round. They're probably going to, I don't want to say it's a sunk cost because you have to be patient with these players anyway. I think a lot of fantasy football players, a lot of dynasty owners, excuse me, give up much too early on players. And I'm not saying you should still hold on to Brashad Perriman because you paid a first-round pick for him. And that ship may have sailed, although his values rebounded a little bit. Kevin White, for instance. But still, you can't just give up on a guy after a season or two. And so I think I know I'm hanging on to most of those tight ends. I traded away Ingram recently in a contracts league. It's only because he was $22 instead of $5 like OJ Howard. I had too much money involved in it. But yeah, if you're going to draft somebody that high, you better have some patience. You don't want to lose on a high pick like that.
You want to know what kind of owner you are too. I mean, if you're not a patient owner, then why do it? Because you're right. You have to sit on that investment. And so many of us, we're just not patient. I mean, we say we're patient, but then we're competing and we decide, I'm a contender. I'm going to trade away my first round picks next year. So I totally agree. It depends on, league settings. It depends on how deep your roster is. And just, you have to know yourself as an owner. And if you're patient, great. But if you're not, hard pass.
Yep.
All right. How about Miles Sanders when he doesn't become an automatic workhorse?
Ooh, talk about it, Russ.
See, no, I like Miles Sanders in general. And I think as time goes on, he'll probably get more and more of the workload just because he's better than anyone else there. But I think right away, Doug Peterson's going to be Doug Peterson. I mean, the dude's not going to magically stop using 4 running backs per game. And I think people that spent the 103 on him in a 1 QB league are just going to get pissed off that they're not getting usable weeks out of him.
Yeah, they have to realize he's likely, he's cut out to be right off the bat a third down back or, a change of pace guy because of his abilities and can be brought in like that. Howard's on that 1-year deal and, is likely to be gone as long as Sanders pans out. But so what if he's just that third down guy this year? He's not going to be delivering like they expect Jacobs to or even Montgomery. But still, does that mean that he's never going to be, and maybe not soon, but does he never become, that 3-down back? Apparently, Peterson did that because he never had a super talented back. Like the best back he had was Jay Ajayi. As far as well-rounded and talented, I don't know. It could go either way. If Sanders balls out and does a really great job, maybe he gets more playing time. But I wouldn't expect this year for him to be more than just that third down back in that offense.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think Miles
completely.
Sanders is definitely the best running back on that roster currently. But I mean, even with a year ago, they were never really, privy to taking one running back and playing them the whole game. Like it was always between Ajayi and Clement and Smallwood and Josh Adams and whoever they could throw on the field. And like I said, Sanders much better, but that they with the Howard signing, it wouldn't be surprising to see at least a somewhat similar approach.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question. I was thinking about this on the car ride home and hoping to bring it up today, and I'm going to force it in, whether it's part of the conversation or not. I mean, we have two arguments this season, even with OJ Howard and now with Miles Sanders, where Arians never uses tight end. Peterson uses 4 running backs, but they've never had a guy as good as they have now. Right. Is there anyone in the past you guys can think of where like we've seen this happen and then the coach went against their past because now they have someone that makes them actually go against it? Has anyone who's
with Rob Gronkowski?
Well, how though? I mean,
because I think before then he was accustomed to using an H-back, which was Hernandez's position. He wasn't an inline tight end.
Them. And
yeah, but everybody, I think at the time, I remember I owned a lot of Hernandez because of the spot that he played and them flexing him out and moving him around so much. He was the tight end to own, and I got huge value out of that until he became this terrible person that did bad things. But I mean, and that might not be the best example, but that came to mind because everybody looks at Gronkowski as one of the best, if not the best ever, and Belichick created him. But before that, did Belichick use the tight end position like that? I know he did, but he used that position. But
also Belichick's not fair because he's the one smart dude in the league.
Nice. Well, you asked.
That's right. It's one outlier.
I asked for a better example.
Okay, a better one. A better one. Yeah, it happens though. But you're right. It can set the tone when you have a player that gives you the ability to do those things. It really does.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think happens to the value of Miles Sanders? Because I think Jordan Howard is a good fit for that Philadelphia offense. Yeah. I think he's going to have a decent year. I think he's going to vulture touchdowns at the goal line. And so I don't think Miles Sanders is going to perform like a lot of people are expecting. So what does that do to his value? Like, let's say they cut Jordan Howard in the offseason after this year, and I think he's just got a 1-year contract. And Miles Sanders going into year 2. Do you think he's still valued the same way he is? Do you think his value goes down? Do you think he's cheaper to acquire? What do you guys think? Especially with this 2020 rookie class coming in, with all these rookie running backs. Because we know
they're all going to be cheaper to acquire with the 2020 class unless they had a great rookie season. Say Jacobs has a great rookie season, why would his value dip? But anybody who does can be readily replaced with backs in the 2020 class and start being backups. He'd have to have a great season. That said, Sanders is a really good running back. I just don't know, like everyone else, not sure they're going to use him like some teams use a back on the field 90% of the time, because that's what you really need to have a running back one.
Yeah.
Can Joho's value get any lower?
Who?
Jordan Howard. Can his value get any lower?
He's such a value right now. I mean, they wanted a 2-down banger this year, right? I mean, they got him. I think he's a great pickup in startups right now and a guy to trade for. Absolutely. I think you made a great point with him. I look at him being the guy that I want over Sanders just because he's a vet, and they sought him out and realized this is just probably not the year for Sanders unless something happens to Howard. Just the way it is.
That's and Russ, I think you bring up a really good point, and you piggybacked off of that, Ryan, just in terms of you have to decide for yourself. So dynasty players are going to have to decide when it comes to Miles Sanders. I think that we all recognize he's a talented player. We all recognize to a large degree or think he's likely the most talented guy in Philadelphia right now. So opportunity galore. We think the offense is good. We think the team is good. They've obviously won a Super Bowl. Things are positive in Philadelphia. You have to decide. Are you going to trust what you've seen with what Peterson's done for the last couple seasons, in terms of shuffling backs in and out? Or do you actually believe the coach speak in that, hey, we finally have a guy that we want to be able to feature our running game and feature in the backfield. And a lot of people, a lot of smart people are going to be wrong, right? So wherever folks land, someone's going to be upset about this at the end, because one way or another, Sanders is either going to overperform expectations or he's going to underperform. I don't think there's necessarily like, oh, this is what we expect Sanders to do, and people are like super pleased about it, right? Either they'll be over the moon or like, crap, man, no, this isn't it.
My answer for that question that you asked is Marquise Brown, the wide receiver for the Ravens. I think in most cases he's like a top 10 player in this class, for being drafted in the first round. Generally, I would rather have so many other players that I just don't want to take a chance on him. And not to jinx him, I mean, maybe he'll do well. So many questions about the Ravens, his size, just a lot of reasons. I think his stock will go down. He won't be as valuable as he is right now. And, I like him. I think he was a great wide receiver in college. Obviously he was a great wide receiver in college. I think his skills translate. I just don't have a lot of confidence in him being what people are drafting him to be, based on that speed. I've seen it before a lot of times. John Ross in the recent past, he could probably be good at some point. It's not a first round, not somebody I want to risk a first round draft pick on. I'd rather have JJ Arcega-Whiteside or someone like that I think has a better profile to be a pro wide receiver. But so I think Marquise Brown's value is not going to be as high next year. Unless he comes out and is a rookie of the year or something, then I'll be a liar. But what's that?
Are you seeing him go in the first round? Because in my rookie drafts, he's slipping to the second a lot of times.
Yeah, high second. I see him going before Jaws, before Sega, our Segatron, and I just don't get that. I don't. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I think he's still going too high. I don't mind spending a second round pick on it, but I have seen him in rookie drafts. Of course, I had like 10 of them or something, 8 or 10 of them start right after the NFL draft, like the Monday after. Right. And so he was going higher at that point. I think people were excited. So maybe it's dipped, but yeah, I just think, I don't see how you get that money back that you spent on him.
I think I'm not a Marquise Brown fan by any means, but I do think he has more opportunity right away, as opposed to Arcega-Whiteside. I like Arcega-Whiteside, 10 times more, but I do think he might be more of a later hit in 2019, or not even a hit at all. Like there early reports that he might not even play in 2019 at all or something. I don't know, but so just with opportunity alone, I know with Lamar, we're kind of tripping and that he's not even going to throw the ball much anyways. But, just stand alone. Brown's probably going to start. He's probably going to get more targets than Arcega-Whiteside this year. But I do like, Jaws more as a player for sure. Arcegatron.
Yeah, I guess that's what his college teammates call him. Or Segatron and Sega, like SEGA, Sega, the game console, right? And I think that's great. Instead of Jaws, I just thought both of those.
Can you write my next intro?
Yes, let's go.
I see it. I see this being in a song soon. That's all I know. Some lyrics spitting out there.
Well, there was an article out that even he retweeted that was a list of all of his nicknames and what he should be called.
Yeah.
And that's where I saw Sega, and I'm like, I will only call him Sega from
Sega.
now on.
It's so short. Yeah, it's perfect. Short and sweet.
And just because, Sega Genesis all day, Sega Saturn, very underappreciated.
You guys remember the Sega? We started up your Sega. Sega.
Yes.
Let's
go.
Man. Love it.
Let's go.
You're speaking to the sweet spot of my childhood right there.
Yep. Ready to go.
Thank you, Ryan. Yes,
I am also so frightened of just the double last name.
Yeah,
in general, I am just so frightened of that. I just got bad dreams of
Dorian
Beckham, and that's probably the only legitimate one I can come up with.
Juju?
Hey, that's scary enough.
Okay, now I feel better. Now I feel better. Okay, yeah,
I'm so glad I came up with one that quickly.
Everything's fine. So happy that you are here, Russ. Again, I cannot.
I got you, Gabe. I got you.
It's a feel-good show with Russ. I noticed that.
Russ, you are the tie that binds. That's what you are.
Okay, third co-host. I got it. I'm on every week. Let's do it.
Watch out, Jake.
Oh, I do not want EP.
No.
That is too much responsibility.
Yeah.
I just want to show up all day and just
The
start
feel
bullshitting.
Yeah.
The feel good producer.
Liver
I
good.
mean,
Good.
Liver good.
Oh, am I ready? Is it timer's up? Okay,
You hear
I'm ready.
the bell tolls.
All
The
right.
bell tolls.
For whom?
Wait, real quick, Ryan, before you do it.
Yes.
For everyone who for everyone who's joined us in the last 20 minutes, the great Ryan Livergood from the Fantasy Joes podcast has to match the eloquence, the beauty, the stylings, the smooth as cognac flavor of his co-host, Trey Barrett, in terms of a pickup line of pickup lines to save them all. I present to some and introduce to others, Ryan, Cognac Livergood.
Oh yeah.
because he goes down smooth.
All right. All right. Here we go. Is your body from McDonald's? Because da 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 da. I'm loving it.
Wow. That's smooth.
You Googled that, didn't you? I saw you reading.
I'm a librarian, Russ. So of course I Googled it. I mean, come on. I know how to do
I
my
would have said
research.
something less sexy.
Yeah.
I would have said something like,
Definitely. Maybe I was thinking of the pickup lines at the bar where people say that, and that's where people are like, "Get away from me."
Trey wins. Trey wins.
All right, I'm gonna try that on my wife tomorrow and see how it works.
hey girl, call me Big Mac.
All right, that was just inappropriate, Jeremy. I don't appreciate that.
I was implying something. I didn't really say it.
No, I know, and it's not appropriate for the open bar.
It's not.
That's wrong.
I thought we were drinking.
You want to put a bun between my two buns, baby?
She wants two patties. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, well, I'm pouring some more vodka.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Vodka. I knew you were doing something like that tonight.
No, this is water, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
We had you on
my water bottle. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you. When we had you on the HQ, you started off with beer, and we made you wait so long. The next time we got you back on, you were like drinking straight vodka. I was like, man, that's wrong order. You start heavy and you kind of taper off. You don't go beer then liquor. Never sicker. You gotta come on. Pace yourself or something.
Hey man, I've survived thus far, man.
Liquor than beer, you're in the clear. That's what I always thought. So
hey, but
that's how you do it. Yeah.
We'll see how it works out.
In case anybody out there, shout out to John Hogue, Mr. Gluten Free Ciroc vodka, made from grapes, not from anything with gluten.
Isn't it really wine then?
Like cognac.
At the end of the day.
Shut up, Jeremy.
It's made from grapes. It's wine.
Don't taste like wine.
Is there an equivalent for the liquor before beer, whatever that line is? I don't know. I don't follow it. Is there an equivalent?
Liquor before beer, never fear.
Whatever that is. Y'all can help me out with that in a second. But is there an equivalent for maybe a position in either rookie drafts or in startups right now, as in regards to a position? Is there one of those that y'all can think of for something before something? You don't have to rhyme either. Just leave that to me. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Draft for talent, trade for need. You'll always be in the lead.
Hey,
I agree with that one too, man. That's exactly how to do it. Never draft for need.
Yeah.
Love your
hood. Knees weak, arms are heavy.
No. See, nobody's got anything after that.
I think you dropped the mic. I think you dropped the J mic.
I would never drop you, J Mike.
Hey. Say it one more time for the people in the back, would you, Outhouse?
The people in the back.
Draft for talent, trade for need. You'll always be in the lead.
Anyone else?
No, I like that. I think that's quotable.
Come on, Jeremy, we gotta come up with something like some competition here.
J-Mike, do you have to give him a 20-minute
Come on,
timer?
liver good. Start Googling some stuff.
Dude, the trouble is, I actually agree with it. I mean, that's what I do too. You can't draft for need; you'll get burned. So yeah, and it rhymed. I was actually surprised Russ made that rhyme and actually sound like a lyric. And so now, we can get Man Bun to spit some serious rap with that one. I don't want to hear Russ sing.
I don't have rhythm, is what you're saying? That I can't drop some fat bars, man?
No, listen, I love the sound of your voice. Every time I hear you talk, I think of the Honey Badger video that was prolific 10 years ago on YouTube. The Honey Badger, do you remember that? Look at this little bastard. It's just I think you did that when you were in high school. That was you did that video. That was you. I know it was.
I am older than that. Oh my God, that made me sad. Thanks, Jeremy.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. Keeping it real.
Oh, I'm gonna cry now.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Tears make the vodka taste better.
Yeah, I think with rookie drafts, that is the key. I think we get infatuated with landing spot. For example, Nicole Hardman. I'm curious what you guys think. I think maybe he's an intriguing dart throw if you've got an extra pick or something. But we weren't even talking about him going into this process. He didn't produce at Georgia, and he's a guy that people will trade up to grab because they think, okay, he's the new Tyreek Hill, and I think that happens too much. I remember a couple of years ago, people were like, "Oh, Samaje Perine in Washington. Look, he's just gonna roll in there and take over." Well, how did that work out? It just happened.
Didn't get him anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, it's all about the talent. You guys.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was not gonna move N'Keal Harry out of my top wide receiver spot for anything because he never did anything except get better, improve. He was up there in Devy drafts. I'm in a lot of Devy leagues. He was always that guy that was right at the top with DK Metcalf back then. A lot of leagues, people took him first. And I happen to own a lot of N'Keal Harry in Devy, and I had no reason to drop him down in my rankings. He did nothing to move down. Other players moved down, they moved up, but nobody surpassed him. There's just no reason to bump him out of one. And I felt that way no matter where A.J. Brown landed either. I just felt like that I've got my guy, it's Harry. But some people say, well, if he didn't go to Tennessee and that offense and competing for touches there with Marcus Mariota, he would have been my first overall receiver, my wide receiver one. And not me. It was always N'Keal Harry. I mean, that's the love of this class for me. In fact, I like him better than the running backs too. And it's just, I think landing spot, obviously it can make a big difference, but I think people maybe put a little bit too much stock in it. And they're not patient enough. If you draft the best players on your board, the receivers, assuming they're all drafted in the upper rounds, for all other things being equal, they're drafted about the same, and you have your ranking of players, especially at wide receiver, the cream's going to rise to the top. They said, "Oh man, Juju Smith-Schuster, my God, if he hadn't gone to Pittsburgh, they don't really need." I mean, it ended up turning out just fine, and it was quick too. It didn't even take a couple of years. And the same for James Washington. Now he's got an opportunity a year later. Everybody was like, DJ Moore definitely over James Washington. And I'm not saying that's not the right call because DJ Moore was one of my guys too. But I think that really sunk James Washington going to, the Steelers. But did it really make much of a difference? A year later, now he's in the mix to be a starter if he balls out and plays well. Just my whole point here, babbling on like this, is just with wide receivers, pick your guys, rank them, and just draft them. The cream will rise to the top with wide receivers. If they're good enough, they're good on the field. Most of these teams are rolling out 3 wides. The best guys are going to get out there and plan for that. Don't worry about where they go. Running backs, bit of a different story. But with receivers, get your guys, and it'll work out. That's how I feel about it. I mean, you're going to have to give it a couple years maybe, but we're playing dynasty football here, right? It's going to take a couple years. Thank you. All right, I'm done.
I mean, I kind of just said, this before this, and then you rhyme with it. But yeah, if you want to just do an entire paragraph, liver good. Did you get all that?
So sorry. Yeah.
That was a wonderful soliloquy.
You typed all that. Thank you. I'll never be able to repeat that.
No, it was well said. I'm completely kidding with you. People have kind of said recently, though, that Dynasty seems to be shifting into more of a win now type of mood, and like even closer to redraft to a degree, because you can just kind of trade after you're done with the guys or whatever. You're not willing to
after you win.
yeah, you're not willing to live on the dynasty, you know, with whoever
My bad,
is
guys.
the
My
sell
bad.
high this year. Was that you, Russ? Have you done it to us?
I mean, I'd have to imagine that I have such an influence on the community that this is just my fault. So I apologize.
I try to draft a strong team
Addicts.
that wins now, you know, that can win now, and not just all now and then leave the league, you know, win the title this year, win the money, and then leave. But, you know, because I have no future assets or, you know, nothing to look forward to. But I try to draft in startups to win this season or certainly next season. And sometimes to the point where I punt all of the, you know, this year's draft picks. And you saw that in Trade Addict 6, Russ. I had one pick. I think I got it from, I got it from Two Drink. I had 0 draft picks that I drafted in the startup. I just tried to draft a team that could compete this year. And I figure as long as it does, I have 2020 picks to supplement next year. I'm not looking at this draft class. And it's worked before, and it's also failed, but it's worked more than it's failed, you know, that tactic. And it's not that I'm just winning now, you know, I'm just building the team a little bit differently than others are doing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely amazing for the people that can say that, you know, they always compete, because I mean, even I found that I can't do that. Of course, I stick on my brand, where when I hit that point where, man, I'm stuck getting in 3rd place 2 years in a row. F it, man.
Oh, that's a good spot to end. I mean, you tried.
Yeah, if you're not first, you're last.
You don't want to be in the middle, Ricky Bobby. You don't want to be 6 or 7. You know.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Patience is not one of my virtues. I will absolutely.
I can tell. I realize.
No, but like I remember 2 years ago.
League.
Oh, the middle is the worst. But like I remember 2 years ago, the productive struggle was like the biggest thing ever. It's just like, that's brilliant, man. Build through your wide receivers, sacrifice that first year. I really don't see anyone doing that anymore. I do it inadvertently because, I mean, my deep dark secret is I suck at drafting. I'm just not very good at it.
I never said that to you. Did I? Did I say that to you?
That I suck at drafting? You've implied. You never said it out. You know, you're too nice of a guy to say it out loud. I get it. It's fine. You're just like Hard. I get it.
Hard's a good guy.
Exactly. But I mean, that's why, you know, trading is my thing, because the startup necessarily isn't the biggest deal, but
it's not a deal breaker.
Right. Yeah, you got to make your moves around it. And sometimes, like in Trade Addict 6, I am not competing this year, but I now have Amari Cooper and Kenny Golladay and Calvin Ridley and a couple of young wide receivers and a bunch of 2020 picks where that'll fill in my running backs and hopefully next year. So I mean, I guess I still am sort of that productive struggle kind of guy, but a lot of people I know, I mean, I guess they're just better drafting, and it's, you know, probably listening to smart people like all y'all instead of doing their own thing like I do.
Oh, I've had some bad drafts in the past. It happens, you know. I think you need to let the draft come to you. And these people that have rigid strategies, I wonder how often that works out. Oh, I'm 0 running back. I'm late round quarterback. I'm, you know, early quarterback, whatever. Like in the first 2 rounds, we know people. We have friends that do this. But can you really commit to doing that in every single draft? What if 9 of the other owners are doing the same thing you're doing? You probably need to adapt a little bit and maybe change your approach, because it's not going to land in your lap the way that you thought it would. So I feel like every draft is different, and that's why I like them. I mean, it's challenging. Like you mix up your strategy. Oh, well, you know, Ezekiel Elliott's right there, so I didn't want to go that route, but I'm not a fool. I'm going to take him here. You kind of have to adapt during drafts, and I love startups and not knowing where my spot is even until it starts. I mean, it puts you on your toes and it's fun, but you can't be like rigid about it. You just kind of have to go with the flow and get it, sort of read the room, I guess.
Man, I love how bad I was when I first started Dynasty, because I did not adapt at all. I went 0 running back, whether it killed me or not. And I was, oh man, it was not pretty. You definitely learn as you go in this game.
You're loyal. You're a loyal
damn
guy.
Straight. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I don't care what everyone else is doing the same exact thing. I'm going to keep doing it also. And yeah, no, I didn't actually. I won my very first league, and then it was very ugly ever since.
I probably
Brian,
would
you're
have
being
worked
too quiet.
Start up this last year. That
What's
0
that?
RB strategy.
Would
have worked this year. This in 2018.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the great things about the different leagues that people are creating and coming out with, like, different settings. And you're not obligated to start a wide receiver or running back. You can start whoever you want. And obviously super flex seems to be the norm now, but starting 2 tight ends, that's what's great about the new formats, because people that have gotten into this formula of building their teams, whether it's productive struggle or whatever, it forces them to think outside of the box. And oh, maybe I drafted running backs late, but this league is points per carry, so I have to consider that. So that's one of the great things. One of the great things that's going on in Dynasty, I think, is that these leagues are all different. I mean, you really have to look at your settings and understand how the league works, or you're going to have a bad startup draft. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. They, what worked before when leagues were more vanilla may not work today. If you're in if you join a auction salary cap league and you don't know the rules, for example, you're thinking like, this is Dynasty. It's not Dynasty, it's salary cap. You can't think that way. So yeah, I think you just have to be like water and look at your settings and figure out what you think is going to work in that league. And yeah, you might have to adjust on the fly. So
yeah, guys, read the bylaws.
Very good advice, Russ. Thank you.
I did read your bylaws the other day, Russ, so I didn't screw up the taxi squad.
Can you let me know what they are? Because I don't remember anymore.
Four, I think, if I was on the 4 right league page.
That's why I love running my leagues, because I make them all the same. So all I have to do is remember one set of rules, and I got it down.
Gabe, I just want to give you a heads up. Go ahead and you might want to get 14 balls in the hopper, whatever it's called.
I'm so ready.
14,
I organized them.
Now let me ask you this. Should it be fair for our guests to also be a part of this? Because obviously they've retweeted as well. They're here, they're present. Should they also be a part of this giveaway that we're having? Or will we look like the NBA and call this rigged because we gave the pick to the Pelicans, who might be losing Anthony Davis?
I get it. Yeah, give it away to a valued listener.
That's right.
I'm a valued listener.
Exactly. You guys are valued listeners. I interact with all of you. So I'm excited about giving a shirt away anyway, because you know what? Fantasy's fun, and we enjoy having fun here at the Open Bar. So while you get the hopper and while you choose whether or not our guests should be involved, let me know so I can write their names down. It's either 14 or 17 is the number that we need. But let me ask you guys this, because
are we cutting it off? What if people still retweet, J Mike?
I mean, they have time up until
daytime,
the actual bingo time.
Okay.
I just want to let you guys know that there's a character here in the chat. It's JMB are the initials. I have no idea who that is. But they asked me to retweet on their behalf, and so they would like to be in this contest. If it's okay.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I mean, so we're handing off Madman's to himself.
Yeah, that is Madman. Very good, very good. You caught me.
Oh shoot, that's good. Well, you know what? That JMB, he's a swell. He's got to be a swell guy. I'm excited to learn his true identity one day. Let me ask this before we run away too far from rookie talk and draft talk. I'm curious of y'all's general strategies this year, in what's been a weaker class. Do you guys feel, from a strategy standpoint, that you guys have had a different feel overall in your leagues this year? Are you trying new things? What has been your overall approach as it pertains to these rookie drafts, these rookie auctions? What has been things that you guys have tried? I'm just curious of your strategies.
I was looking
at nodding, Jeremy. Okay, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I traded out. I kind of listened to the lack of hype for this 2019 class. So I traded a lot of my picks. I didn't have a lot of first rounders. So, but leagues I'm in, if I have one of those top 3 or 4 picks, I might shop it around, but I'll stick and pick. But after that, I'll try to trade down. I like that sweet spot in the early second rounds. I like the value you can get there. So that's kind of my general approach to these drafts. I haven't been in too many rookie auctions yet, mostly just drafts. So. But I think that's pretty. I know that's vanilla advice. I'm sorry, that's nothing. I'd like to hear if anyone's doing something differently. But yeah, trying to trade back where I can. And I do like the top 4 guys. I do like Miles Sanders, and we haven't talked a lot about David Montgomery, the new Chicago running back, but I'm a Bears fan. The Bears love this guy, and I really think David Montgomery's going to have a big year. I don't believe that Davis is going to get a ton of touches. Tariq Cohen, they're going to move him around the offense. This is perfect for Tariq Cohen too. I don't think he's a sell at all. The Bears are going to use him.
I agree with you.
I think David Montgomery's going to have a really good rookie season. So I'm pretty high on him. So yeah, that's my approach. Like Superflex leagues, I love Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be huge for fantasy. So Jeremy's shaking his head. He's like, no, you lost me now, Ryan.
No, I like what you said there. And Tariq Cohen, I'm glad you said that. That's what I think too. I mean, it was almost 20% of the time they had Cohen in the slot. So he's basically a slot receiver, 20% of the snaps he was involved in last year. That's awesome for a running back. They target him like a wide receiver. So I look at him when I draft him like I'm drafting a wide receiver at that point. That's a running back eligible guy. And why would they stop using him? He's been such an explosive weapon. So I don't have fear that his job is gone and he'll never be good again. And I like what you said about Montgomery too, because I'm still not sure he's not the best running back in this class. With those top three guys, it's kind of tough to figure. Certainly a good opportunity for him. But my strategy really, I didn't go into it with one, because all those rookie drafts I was talking about that started the Monday after, good God, the Monday after the NFL draft, they're all over the board. I can't wait to look at all this when it's done and like how things changed over time, like what the trends were, but all over the board. Players, sure, you see Harry Jacobs, at the top, Sanders up at the top, but so many outside of that top 3 or 4, it was like a crapshoot the first round, and the second round was no better. And so one of the things I did, like Ryan said, was try to get players at the end of the first or the early second. I got Sega in so many drafts at the top of the second. I didn't plan to. I didn't think he would fall that far. But I basically stuck to my board, and it was so much fun to just basically cherry pick all the guys that I liked in this draft. Paris Campbell, Sega, just grab those guys. And then earlier in the third, before other owners drafted them, I'm going for Terry McLaurin and Deontay Johnson, who should get on the field soon, guys that I really like in this class. It was fun for me because I was able to just he'll probably still be there when I pick again. And I actually traded in a couple where I have some bad rosters. I traded into the draft instead of trading out because it was such good value getting, like I said, Sega at the top of the second, Paris Campbell later in the first, and some of the early ones. So I had fun with it. I really enjoyed it. And Devin Singletary, I like him a lot in Buffalo. So I just was able to get guys I like. So it was so much different than last year where things kind of, fell more predictably. No strategy though, just got my guys.
The strategy, get my guys. Like that. Oh, Russ, were you talking?
No, I have no idea what the hell that was, but I'll talk now anyway.
So that was me. That's my bad audio. Sorry.
It's funny. We've spent like a year down talking this class and belittling it, especially to 2020. But from what I've noticed, it doesn't matter when you're in the draft itself. It's the only way it matters is in the draft itself. So it's a little cheaper to move around, to move up, I would say. Yeah. And a little harder to get the value to move back that you would have last year. But still, you're not trading out to next year easily at all. I had the 112 in a recent draft, and people were offering me 2020 seconds, and I'm like, I'm not trading a first for a future second. Right. And one person replied, with a future with a first this year, but clearly they were typing and they used the quotes for it. And she's like, no, it's a first this year. Call it a down class all you want. This time is money, baby. That matters.
I agree.
So this is still the same as any draft you've ever really seen. I think just everyone complaining about it was just, I don't know. You still just sort of have to treat it like you would every single draft. And there's still good players at the end of the first. I have so many Sega shares just because I've had, I'll say I have the 112 to make it seem like I won a bunch of leagues, but I really just traded for them.
Yeah. Nice.
But I have so many Sega shares, or I've traded up to Paris Campbell because I listened to the dummies way too much. And to be fair, I took a mid-second. moving around, like I like this draft, and it's like one of those things. Like I'm not ashamed to admit it because of how many people say they hate it.
Mm-hmm.
But like to me, like everyone wants to treat this draft like it's a little less than the rest. But honestly, once you're in it, everyone gets that rookie fever, and everyone still wants those picks. It's a little cheaper to move around, but it still is what it is. It is still a rookie draft that everyone wants a part of.
And it's not that long ago that Corey Davis was our 101, our 1.01.
He's still my 101.
I'm just saying, like that, that bar wasn't that high, based on what he's done since then. So yeah, every class is good. I love when people that conjecture about this class being worse than next year. It's a fact. What if some of those juniors don't come out? I think there's a lot of talent and a lot of. I think that a lot of players from this class, from this first round, will turn out to be better picks than like last year's class. And then what are people going to say? Because last year's class did have some, running backs people were seeking, and every year it has great players come out, NFL players.
Well, there's the wonderful point that Peter Howard loves to point out that usually the best players come from weak classes. Like he loves pointing out that Nuke and Keenan Allen came from a crappy, what was it, like 2015 class or something like that, or 2013 class.
2013.
Yeah. I definitely just said the wrong year.
That's all right. In 2014, was pretty good.
So I still like the players in here, and while the cliff after like that Montgomery pick leads into like a 14 player tier, there's still good players in that tier, and it's still worth being part of, I guess I would say. So, well, I know, Ryan, you just said you traded out. I know Aton and Stompy have all been about getting out of this draft. I mean, I'll never completely leave any draft just because FOMO, and B, there's value of being there.
And you got to stay active. No, that's right, Russ. I like what you said about people still wanting to trade into this draft, and there's always opportunity. So there was a draft where I traded it. It's a league that's converting to Superflex, and I'm a little bit weak at quarterback, so I traded into the 106 to take Dwayne Haskins. So I was still paying attention, and had I just totally checked out, I would have missed that opportunity. So you totally have to stay engaged, and even if you trade out, there's opportunity there. So
yeah, you got the best quarterback in this class at the 106. Good work, man.
Gonna fill up. And I mean, like, do you really want to leave an entire year without getting like a share of Mecole Hardman, Gabe? Like, really? No, like honestly, like I got my first share in a best ball league, and that's the only share I'm gonna get, just because there's no point in owning that man in anything other than a best ball league. But like, to me, like Sega and Paris Campbell and Darrell Henderson, and there's these guys that, I mean, before the terrible landing spots, we liked a lot more than we do now. But like, do you really want to not have a share? Okay, not everyone's in like the 29 to 30 something leagues I'm in, so maybe it's a little different for we call you normies. But
normies, oh man.
Never heard that before, but that's great.
Yeah, it sounds like Bill spent a lot of time coming up with that.
But I mean, like, I guess I like hedging my bets against completely missing out, but I'm also not against the idea of just trading for a dude later. Like, I'm always willing to pay for somebody after they've produced a little bit. But again, that just becomes with I have a trading problem, and B, the amount of leagues I'm in, where there's always a league somewhere where I can afford to overpay a little bit to get a guy that seems like he's going to be doing a little better. Did we just go into a subway?
Well,
yeah. Are we in space?
We were talking about this before, the best way to travel through New York City. Apparently we hit up the subway.
Traveling groups.
Bringing it back around.
I in our league, I think it was Russ, I had like a late second, like 211 or 212. And it was only like the 203, 204 ish. And I was kind of, speculating like who's going to be there. And I was like, there's got to be a chance that Hardman's there. There's no way that people actually like him, right? And I think he went before that, but my point is that I was actually, even though it was 6-7 picks away, I was like, I had it on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I had it on my mind, but I was in no way, shape, or form going to draft him.
I haven't been able to do it yet. Yeah, Hardman. I've had a couple opportunities, and I just can't pull the trigger. He's intriguing, but
same.
Best ball. Yeah. Best ball is the only way I'll do it. I do not want him in a league I have to set a lineup for. Because I mean, I'll be honest, I do not put I just joined my first Devy leagues this non-point scoring season. Like I've never really been into college football at all. I've never heard the name Mecole Hardman until draft night. Like I've never heard that man's name before.
Yeah, I heard like Paul Perticchese talk about it on Saturday to Sunday in passing as a guy to watch, but that was the only reference I heard of him going into this process. So I'm with you. Samesies.
Opportunity.
Speaking of Trade Addict 6, I haven't brought up any kind of league that I'm in a while, so I feel like this is as good a time as any. Several guys that we've talked about this evening that I ended up with after trading back forever in this league. I traded back with Russ once or twice and traded back with
that resulted in him getting N'Keal Harry. Thanks very much for that.
You're welcome. Anytime. I'm happy
Thank
to be
you.
Cheers to that. So I ended up with a couple guys we've hit on. Mecole at 203 and then Arcega-Whiteside at 112. One guy that folks I feel like are pretty split on, and I kind of want to jump back here in just another moment about who we feel like might be underrated amongst these rookie ADPs, because I have a couple names that I definitely want to bring up. But Andy Isabella, just real quick, can you guys give just quick, how do you feel about him specifically in Arizona?
I love it. That offense is now filled with a lot of people that do a lot of things, and that offense is going to throw the ball a lot. So, I mean, honestly, I never get names right. Is Butler there? Is that who's there?
Butler, yep.
Yeah, I always screw him up with the other tall guy.
Harmon.
I mean, yeah, I like
that too.
Harmon. Yeah, I like the idea of grabbing Butler a little later, just because he's the one dude with the individual body type compared to the rest of them. But Isabella's good. I mean, there's no getting around that. So, and he's versatile. He can play inside and outside, and we have to hope that Kingsbury knows what he's doing in this spread offense, and that he will move. I mean, Butler's stuck on the outside, but Fitz, Isabella, and Kirk can all be moved around, and that can only mean good things for these receivers. It might cap their upside a bit because they could all sort of do those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I mean, without knowing any numbers for real whatsoever, I think Isabella's the fastest out of all of them.
Oh yeah.
So, definitely. I mean, that also gives him that one-off spot where he is that speed guy. So I think in an offense that wants to get rid of the ball, getting it to a fast guy is a very likely option. So yeah, I really like Isabella. I mean, you grabbed him at the 201 in Trade Addict 6, and I think outside the first is an awesome grab.
Amazing value, super fast, track star, just an amazing athlete. He's about the same size as Marquise Brown, but like 20 pounds heavier. So, a little sturdier in the slot, a guy that can hold up in the NFL. I think he's going to be really good, especially if that offense can take off. But yeah, he's from Ohio too, so success is kind of in the cards for him.
Just to be a little bit contrarian here, I really want to like Isabella, but a couple of things about him. I'm a hand snob. He's got small hands.
Yeah,
8 inches. I'm not a guy that watches a lot of tape. He's a body catcher. One of the things that makes me concerned is some guys that I really respect, like Matt Waldman. He talked about, he was on the Fancy Joe's podcast. There's a plug, and he was talking about how he doesn't see what everyone else is seeing about Andy Isabella. So he doesn't see it. So that makes me a little bit nervous. But I think that Kyler, in that offense with Kyler Murray, with the speed he has, I definitely think he's intriguing. He's maybe more of a best ball target for me, though, than a guy that I think you can plug in your lineup and feel real comfortable with every week. I want him to succeed, but the small hands, the fact he's has that rotation as a body catcher makes me a little bit nervous. So just to be a little contrarian here.
Yeah, I get that. He definitely can catch the football. I don't know if that's held him back, but that's that's good concern. Matt Waldman, yeah, I trust him. He did say one of the Browns players once was going to be a star, somebody they drafted late a couple years ago, and that guy never panned out from UCLA, and I forget his name now. And so I don't forgive Matt Waldman for that one, but he is very sharp. I don't know why he couldn't see that Isabella. I mean, as a track star, fast guy for starters and football players second, but in the slot, man, this league is just made now for slot receivers. Yeah. I mean, the nickelback, has just become, and not the band, they're terrible, but the nickel cornerback has become such a staple. I mean, they have like the best cornerback on a team in some cases play, that position because of the prolific use of slot receivers. So that's what I guess gives me the biggest jolt, thinking that he's going to be great in Kingsbury's offense. And I don't think that offense is necessarily going to take off this year. I think there's a lot of moving parts, kind of like a chemistry experiment where they change too many things at once and they don't know what's working. Just
right.
a lot going on. I think it might be next year, but I really, if that offense is just even a facsimile of what we think it can be, it's going to be amazing with Isabella. And if Kyler Murray is as good as all you guys think too, I mean, wow, I can't wait to see that.
I think the Cardinals just badly, or Kingsbury.
Kingsbury, nice. Kiff Kingsbury, that's right. You said it right.
Kiff.
Really, really badly wants to be Sean McVay with this offense, and like just gave Kyler so many weapons, and he already got David Johnson to be the equivalent of Todd Gurley, I suppose. But like, Fitt's still there. Kirk. I mean, just guys they drafted. Y'all already said Butler, Isabella. We didn't mention Keyshawn Johnson. That's a sixth round guy.
Yeah, that counts.
Whatever, but like
loaded up.
Counts. Yeah, Chad Williams is still there. That some people are kind of fond of, athletic and can play the outside. And was it 3rd or 4th round draft pick or so?
Oh, and the tight end too. That can
Kevin
play
White
wide receiver.
Still chilling.
Ricky Seals-Jones,
the White Walker himself.
Yeah, Seals-Jones. Yeah, no joke. And he's played for him before.
RSJ.
But going back real quick, have you seen what Sean McVay looked like? I want to be
Charles
Sean McVay.
Clay. Charles Clay.
Yeah, it's stacked. I mean, it's amazing.
So many weapons. I mean, so my point is like, yes, it's fruitful in St. Louis, in Los Angeles. I can't believe
they move so much. It's hard to keep up.
That's still happening.
I know.
I didn't think I'd ever do that again. Anyways, Los Angeles is fruitful, sure. That I think there's an expectation of the Browns doing that with OBJ and Landry and Njoku and Chubb and Hunt and Johnson. He's still there.
Chubb?
Like, what's that?
Chubb? I'm just kidding. Keep going. I'm just messing with you.
Wubba lubba chub chub.
That's exactly it.
How embarrassing. Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of mouths to feed is my point, and I'm worried a little bit for that offense, just because they're if you're hoping for an offense like the Rams or what we're thinking for the Browns, I guess, and we haven't even seen that yet, like that's a pretty high wish. And we're not
for all of them to be valuable. Yeah,
we're not asking. Yeah, we're not necessarily asking for perennial top 12 wide receivers. We'll be fine with a couple of them. Arizona, a couple of top 24 guys. Of what's your phrase, J. Mike? The serviceable.
He has some really good.
Was that an RB2 or wide receiver? I don't know, but
I can't remember. Something about
outstanding.
Something outstanding RB2 or something like that.
18 to 24 wide receiver. That's
it was something absurd.
I don't know.
The only serviceable position is quarterback.
Right.
Shout out, Mr. Koch.
Anyways, I'm worried. I do like all of the talent there. I love Kirk. I love Butler, even though he dropped to 4th. Whatever. I love Isabella, but it's scary. I even love Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, Gabe, I think you point out something that's important. I think these guys are going to be great buy lows after the 2019 season. I think with Fitz there, I think that's going to limit what Isabella can do. So I think Isabella might be a really good buy after the 2019 season. Same with, I think Christian Kirk's going to have a good year, so it'll be interesting to watch. But yes, probably the only guy that won't be a buy is David Johnson. I think David Johnson's going to have a really good year. So we'll see. But you're right; they're going to struggle. They're not going to come out and be the #1 offense in the NFL. I don't think anyway.
It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch.
It'll definitely be a step in the right direction because it can't get worse.
Oh my God, they were horrible. Yeah,
one would hope, right? That offensive line was pretty atrocious last year, which got sent Rosen packing and might get Kyler killed if he's not careful.
Yeah, but at least that's a dude that can run for his life.
Right, exactly. That's a very fair point.
Probably gonna have to.
Couple guys I just want to shout out real quick in terms of, and if you guys have one real quick, just guys who you feel like are super underrated. They were shouting out folks in the chat, and my two posits this year. And the only reason I did not have him in trade addicts was because I wasn't myself during the draft. But one, Damian Harris.
Okay.
Not underrated for me. I love Damian Harris.
Yeah, same. Huge Damian Harris fan. So I'm glad that we're in the camp together there. He's currently in May ADP for rookies, number 18 overall. And a guy who I feel like a lot of us are somewhat sleeping on, down at 28 overall. Alexander Madison backing up Dalvin. If for any reason Dalvin goes down again for the third straight season for any time, it could be a guy that sees snaps. Right. So if for nothing else, I feel like that's valuable in your probably middle, if not sooner, second rounds.
Yeah.
TA6 is the latest I think they've gone. In TA6, they went like next to each other. Madison at 304 and Harris at 305.
Wow.
I mean, Harris has been going the end of the first in the past two drafts I've been in, which to me is
Are those later drafts, Russ? Are those more recent drafts, or were those early on?
The two drafts the two most recent drafts I've been in. Harris, Madison has been going late second a lot, which I think is perfect because middle second is where I would start grabbing handcuffed running backs anyway, because at that point, that's what you're doing is just sort of grabbing for upside. But yeah, Harris, I don't own any of him, and I don't think I will own any of him. I like the player. It's just, again, maybe in a best ball league. Again, that's the only time I think I really touch New England backfields.
Yeah, the only place I own him is where I already had him in Devy leagues. I didn't draft him in a single rookie draft. And it's because he's in New England. I think that's the biggest reason.
But that's a reason. That's a reason to take him, guys. Look at the New England running backs this past year. James White at the beginning of the year was huge.
He's still there.
Sonny Michel brought it on. So and Sonny Michel has those. He's got the knee concern. So I think Damian Harris was a good running back in college. He produced in college, not as big of numbers as he would have someplace else other than Alabama because they share the backfield. Damian Harris is a good running back. He's in New England. That's
but when are you going to start him?
Well, probably when Sonny Michel goes down. He is a guy that you can take, I think in the mid-second, and he could win you a league. Who else can you take there that could win you a league?
Alexander Madison.
Yes, well, he could. You're right. I like Alexander Madison too, but you could get him much later. I'm getting him in the middle of the third round. So those are two guys I really like. I like those guys. I have not seen
Madison make it to the mid-third yet.
Yeah, one of my leagues he did. Yeah, so
I just feel like there's so many running backs in this class, and every class, that it's not difficult to replace or get one at a good value, trade for one. So I recent startups, I've just not been drafting running backs, and I know you can if you start out with a good running back, you're getting Barkley or Zeke or let's just say one of the top 5 guys, whoever those are for you. You get one of those, or even the top 6 guys. You're really good running back, and you start your team around that. I'm not that. I almost want a wide receiver one, like an elite wide receiver, because I feel like I can supplement that depending on the league scoring, that running back. So in this class, there are just so many running backs that I have. My confidence rating for them is they're all right here in the same gigantic tier of 10 guys that take your pick. And so I really didn't get that excited about it in this class. I'm like, I'm going to get a guy eventually, some late that I like in the draft. My 2 players, and I wrote something for Fantasy Pros about them too, and it ended up coming to fruition in part. Deontay Johnson from Toledo, who ended up with the Steelers, which was a really good landing spot, I think. And Terry McLaurin from Ohio State, that's now catching passes or going to in practice and whatnot from his college quarterback in Dwayne Haskins. Both of those guys bring like special teams abilities, kind of like Hawkinson with his at tight end with this really great blocking ability, going to get on the field. These guys bring something to their teams that gets them on the field sooner, and it's or earlier. It's their ability to play special teams or do whatever is asked of them, and not just play special teams, but they excelled at their roles on special teams. So those two wide receivers that I've been getting in like the late second, early third for me, and their value actually kind of skyrocketed after the draft. They weren't on some of these rankings in part, like they were ranked at like the 25th wide receiver if they were even on the board, and now they're in like the top 20. But I think those guys present a great value. If you look at the Washington Redskins, their wide receivers, and there's just really nothing in the way for Terry McLaurin, and that includes Josh Doctson. He could definitely become. And Josh is probably going to be a starter, but there's nothing in McLaurin's way to stop him from becoming one of the starters for the Redskins. And the same for Deontay Johnson. There are guys there, Moncrief, and there are several players. I just don't think that they're going to stand in his way to become the next slot receiver for the Steelers. A guy that, like you were saying earlier about Isabella, inside outside, he can play all those positions. So those two guys. And their landing spots really, really spoke to me. So I tried to get them in many places as buy low and maybe capitalize big time on their, on their performance.
Josh Doctson is going to have his Devontae Adams year.
I hope you're right.
I'm here for that. I still have all my shares.
Do you really? You never traded him away? Well, yeah, you don't want to trade low, sell low, but you have a lot of him, really?
Worse.
Man, I was so in on Corey Coleman and Josh Doctson. It's almost embarrassing at this point.
Wow. I was
You could have been in on any one of those guys, though.
Those two, I got so many shares of those guys. And
Treadwell, like you just missed no matter what.
Yep.
I love that draft.
Of course, the one dude I had zero of was Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, yeah.
I had so much Michael Thomas. I don't want to rub it in, guys, but I do. That's like my guy. That's my bro.
I feel that getting.
I traded down twice in one rookie draft and still got him at like 109 or 110.
I remember vividly. I remember vividly at the 105, someone taking Michael Thomas and be like, "Oh, that's okay. I'll take Josh Doctson at the 106. Thank you very much."
Will you be smart ass?
Absolutely. I straight up rubbed it in that dude's face and like, yeah, give me Josh Doctson. That's right. I mean, I won that league last year, thankfully. But yeah, that did not look well for me.
It hurt more to draft him in startups so early more than rookie drafts for me, because that's around when I started. Is I was able to get him in rookie drafts one year and then startups the next year where he was still around the same range, like in between 5th and 6th, 7th round or so. And yeah,
I'm with you. You can really, really blow a startup draft if you don't pick wisely. And rookie picks come and go. You can
pick a lot of young guys like that. How it kind of started out in Dynasty. I mean, around when I was starting, it was like get Kevin White, Devontae Parker, or Josh Doctson, like all these like very, very young guys that you're just kind of counting on because of their college production profile, because of their athletic scores, because of their landing spot. We're all like pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. There's no reason to avoid the guy, you think. And
well, yeah, just like I was saying before, like that's, I mean, like 4 years ago, that's when like productive struggle was the big thing. I remember when I started a home league and I had to explain to people that, look, I know that Devontae Parker is a second-year guy who did nothing his rookie year, but he's a second-round pick. Like in a startup, just because he's young, he's athletic, and he has all the upside in the world. And like now thinking about that, I just like, I hope you guys didn't listen to me. Shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's one guy that got me. I had a lot of Devontae Parker. Got him a little later in the draft, but that's a guy that I regretted
He can still have his Devontae Adams year too.
I think so, and his year
just 5 years later. Yeah,
I don't hold Miami against him. I think he can. I mean, I do. It was a problem for a long time. It seemed like that Adam Gase thing, and I don't want to get into that, but I really think that held him back in part. But geez, I can't believe he didn't develop into that red zone weapon we were looking for. I still just I don't know, man. That one burns my ass still.
I think he's one of those guys that from the reports out of Miami, if you believe them, that he hasn't put the effort in. Like he's one of those guys that's satisfied with just kind of showing up and not doing what he needs to do. So I kind of buy into that narrative, and we can't really know that about these guys. That's the one thing we don't know about these rookies is like, how committed are they? How dedicated are they? Do they want to be the number one wide receiver in the NFL? And
makes such a big difference.
Yeah, and I don't think he does. I mean, based on what I've heard about him. So, and maybe it's just with the gay situation in Miami, and maybe that's what's held him back. But I think it's a matter of just his personality, his work ethic, based on what I've heard. I mean, these are just reports. I have no evidence of this, but because he's talented, you've seen it on the field. He's a really talented guy. So why hasn't he put it together? Maybe it's just because he doesn't put the time in. Maybe it's just that simple.
He and Brashad Perriman were the two guys that got me in. And Perriman, that was the last time I took a shot on a guy early. The thing is, he finally started doing something, and I used that as my rationale for the sunk cost. I was like, see, I knew it. 29 years later, this guy, you just needed to be patient. And he finally did something for the Browns last year. Anyway. I don't know what my point was.
That draft was littered with kind of high-end top receivers too. Like a lot going in the first round. It was tough.
Yes, sir.
Gabe, do you have the hopper ready?
Uh-oh.
The hopper.
We need.
So wait, is this weighted? Is this a weighted lottery like the NBA?
Yeah. Tell me how many I need to put in here.
Not in the least. We need 1 through 18.
Can we throw my ping pong ball in the freezer for a few minutes?
First person who retweeted gets so many.
No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no.
Okay.
Make that 19. Aaron B just snuck his in. I see you, Aaron. Right at the buzzer.
Too late, man. You cut off. No, hold on. I am arguing the validity of this random lottery right now.
What?
Russ really wants a shirt.
These guys are legit.
Well, I've decided, since Gabe didn't say, I've decided the guests of tonight's show are also in the lottery.
Nice.
So
I retweeted the hell out of that. So yeah, I should.
Well, go retweet it again.
Hold on, let me go.
All right, I need 1 through 19, Gabe.
All right. Should I? So I have the retweets here. Should I just read off from there?
No, I've got a list here on.
You have the list
on a nice little Google sheet. So,
what do you want?
When the number comes up, I will screen share all the numbers. I mean, all the names here, and you can we can pull it from there.
Hey, do you guys have Aaron in the drawing? Because Aaron Bogan in the chat, he just got his retweet in. He wants in, so you got Aaron in. Aaron,
no, cut off.
Aaron,
stop trying to get in on my odds.
To the open bar. I know he's shown up quite a bit. He's definitely in. He almost gets.
The odds are ever in my favor. Not you guys.
Knowing Russ, he'll probably win too. Just sheer luck. Just the luck of the draw.
Better lucky than good, man. I'll take it.
Better lucky than.
I've always had to be good.
I'm missing you. Yeah, I'm missing.
I wasn't even in the hopper. Oh my god.
Calm down.
I'm just gonna go back to these delicious Columbus IPAs.
J Mike, so it's literally just B1 through 15, and then it starts with I, 16, 17, 18, so on and so forth.
I just need up to 20. So up through I-20.
Yep. So B1 through 15,
like
and then I 16 through 20 would do it for you.
Love it.
Are you able to do that? Are you putting it on a spreadsheet of sorts or what?
Yeah, I got it all on a spreadsheet. Like I said, in just a moment, whenever you pull the number, I will screen share the sheet here, and I will get that person in contact.
Do you want to screen share it first, or do you want to just so they know we're not cheating?
Okay, sure. I can do that.
I trust you, J Mike.
I trust both of you, but now I'm concerned because you said cheating, and why did you say that?
That's it. Take him out.
I got trust issues, man.
No, you're fine.
Are you guys able to see that entire sheet?
Yeah, see it.
All right. 1 through 20. There are 21 retweets. I am 21, so it is 1 through 20, all listed.
All right.
All right.
Renshaw, you mother.
Yeah,
I saw you.
Renshaw
I
tried to
see you,
sneak
bro.
in twice.
Yeah. I see you.
Renshaw.
Oh man, can I go log on to the Trinidad?
Everyone go get
account real quick?
everyone go get their podcast and retweet them.
Oh, I didn't think of
Good
that.
call, Renshaw. That was smooth.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll load them all up. Just 1 through 20, yes?
1 through 20.
Okay. Anyone else want to retweet out there? Anyone
No,
in the
stop
chat that
it.
would like to retweet?
It's over.
It's over.
I already dropped one on the floor. I wonder who that was. I think it was Russ's. Man.
I hope it was Russ's.
All right.
It's good audio for the podcast right here. The podcast
This is
version.
good. This is yeah.
Classic.
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 This is what we call building suspense.
What's
Like,
that
yep,
funny
there-
clicking sound?
Yep, they're still fucking doing the lotto thing. All right.
These guys are unbelievable.
Are we ready?
Ready.
I have my little stand here that I used last time for our lottery draft.
15.
Hello and welcome to the open bar. Tuesdays live, 9:30 Eastern. Tonight we are doing a draft of sorts. It's just a lottery. If you retweeted the tweet tonight for our show, first of all, thank you. Second of all, let us thank you by pulling your number out of this here little cage, and we're gonna get you a gosh darn shirt. Bottoms up. Here we go, guys. Are you ready?
Big money.
bucks,
Come on,
no
big
whammy.
money.
All right,
Big
here we go.
bucks,
Here we
no
go. Here we
No
go.
whammy,
Here
no
we go.
whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
20.
The number is B8.
That is not me.
At Lightning 0012.
Yeah, that sounds made up. Do it again.
His burner account.
Lightning
That's
0012.
a fake account.
Is that person
Hey,
in our chat right now?
He hit us. They're not in the chat right now. Now this is what's weird, and I'll let you guys tell me. He's been on Twitter since 2011, and he gave us the retweet, but like he doesn't have a name. This person doesn't have a name or anything. I'm a little nervous. What do you guys think?
Pick you.
His name says name cannot be blank on Twitter.
Name cannot be blank. that sounds kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need a verdict.
Super Duper Flex said, "I'm Thunder 001."
I don't know, some guy named JMB said must be present to win. So
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
You know what?
Those
The must
rules
be
were
present to
unclear.
win is probably a fair caveat.
I don't know who's here, J Mike.
Well, guess what?
I'm
There's
here.
a chat that says you can run.
There's
Let's run it back.
not. Run it back for the 13
Run it
people
back.
on here right now.
Nah.
Oh my god! All right.
No? Okay. Never
Do it.
mind.
Do
then.
it. Just do it last. Save it up. See if they pop in here. Save it to the side until.
stop being so
Oh.
nice.
Now I'm trying
Wait,
to get,
Matthew
I'm trying to get
Renshaw's
B8
present,
out of the
though.
cage. Oh, got it. Got it.
Oh,
Yep.
Aaron in the chat. One of us. One of us.
So do we just
Good.
keep rolling until we get someone in the chat?
Yes. Do it.
All right. Whatever y'all want. This is really rude to people who retweeted. Just saying.
I mean, they can reach out. I can.
I love that you have that in your office. By the way, I'm not going to ask how you got it, but that's pretty cool.
B10.
Recount.
Saint DSP. Also not here.
Who are these people?
How did they get in this pool?
They just stumble upon Twitter and see like, yeah.
They
I
just
love this.
they go to Twitter search and bar, and you know that they find your tweet.
All right. Another one.
Do it.
There we go.
Keep going.
Saint DSP, hit me up. If you hear this on podcast form, hit me up.
B.
I like Frank. He said you have to be in the chat or on the show.
15.
Oh, that's
me.
ridiculous.
Outhouse.
Outhouse.
Oh, it's outhouse. Oh shit.
Well, you said it.
See,
Outhouse.
this is what happens.
He was probably also Lightning and the other one we pulled up.
Leave my burner accounts out of this.
Russ, DM me with the shirt you want and your size. And if you heard your name previously, also hit me up. Lightning 001.
No, forget those guys. You're done. Well below a chub size large.
I really, come on, you look like more of a medium.
This is his equivalent.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Jeremy.
I just playing, man. Unbelievable, yeah.
Hey, third time's the charm, baby.
And that's that. Nice. Listen to everyone else who's hearing this on podcast form, or if you're in the chat and you showed love and you're having a great time, you can please go to your podcast catcher of choice, whether that be likely iTunes, because that's where you can leave a review for us. Leave us a review, ideally 5 stars. If it's not going to be 5 stars, then don't leave it. I'm just kidding. But if you leave a review and a lovely 5-star review, next week we'll pull another random name from all those reviews that we get. Hopefully, it's a lot of them. And again, we'll give out another shirt. Gabe, I'm in the mood to just give right now.
Yeah. Apparently.
All right, hold on. Let me go hit up iTunes and see if I reviewed you guys. I also need one of those cookie shirts.
So that'll be that. If you guys show us some love that way, I would love to give away another shirt with you taking a few minutes of your time. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
I agree.
But Gabe, that's all I got.
All right. No one wants me to spin the bingo cage one more time just for fun.
No, I'm good.
Solid here. Yeah.
I love it so much. That's all we've got.
No.
Did we answer the what'd you say? What was your question, J Mike? Like 2 guys that
Yeah, I got some late round flyers for you.
Late round
get it,
flyers?
liver good.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right, so a couple of guys I really like you can get late. How about Dexter Williams in Green Bay?
Yes.
Like I don't necessarily believe in Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. There's so many red flags with Aaron Jones. They didn't spend high draft capital on him. He's missed a lot of time. So Dexter Williams is a guy that with a lot of potential. He should have been drafted higher, but he had some, I think, was it marijuana issues? He missed 4 games. But his mom is going with him to Green Bay. His mom's going to live with him. She's going to keep him out of trouble. This is true.
Maybe she's the one who smokes the. No,
I don't think so. And I think Dexter Williams.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with people's moms smoking pot. I'm not saying that for any reason whatsoever. I'm just putting it out there.
He can smoke weed with his mom and not go driving his car and get arrested. That's fine. At home, who cares? That's great. Just don't do it when you're going to get tested at the beginning of the season.
It's a good opportunity for him in Green Bay. I agree because Jamal Williams is nothing, and he's just not. He's such an average running back. Aaron Jones, right? I mean, the opportunity is there for him to succeed. That's a good pick.
And then the other guy, Mike Weber, it's just about, and I don't know he got that injury that there's MRI in his knee. I guess he's going to be okay. Ohio State product. Thank you. That man, appreciate that. We didn't know that. And, Zeke was his mentor. They played together at Ohio State. And I know they take Pollard, but I don't think, I think as Zeke goes down, which hopefully doesn't happen, I think Mike Weber is going to be the guy that's going to step in and play the Zeke role. So where you can get him, why not? So those are my 2 late round picks. I think you should target.
I do not care what Outhouse says about you. Everything you said tonight spoke to me, Ryan. You're a very smart guy.
He's absolutely lying. He cares what I say.
Well, yeah, I do most of the time, but not what you say about Ryan, because damn it, Ryan said a lot of smart stuff, including Mike Weber being the next man up. I think that's actually what would happen in that scenario.
Is there anyone else to be the next man up?
Well, there are
is
guys
Tavon
there.
Austin to become a running back again?
I hate you sometimes. Why don't you take your t-shirt and leave? Take your t-shirt and go.
You're too nice for that, Jeremy. Just take it back. He's going to DM me later, say he was sorry. He didn't really mean
it. I meant that I'm jealous that you got the t-shirt.
Screenshot it. Right. Sell them out.
Nice.
Sweet. All right.
I did sell him out about his drafting strategy one time, but we're never going to quote tweet that or screenshot it. It's fine. We're good.
I have a strategy? That's news to me.
Thank you. You proved my point. Appreciate it.
The love between you guys, it's overwhelming.
It's strong, right?
We both like you, though, Ryan.
Well,
keep it that way, buddy.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know you well enough to say I like you, but I don't dislike you yet.
Hey, that's a plus. I'll take it. From a
I think
Jersey, that means you love me. So
I think you need to drink more, and we can call you Ryan Liverbad. I know that's an easy one, but
it is.
To go there.
I like it. So, hey, Russ, I don't think you've Outhouse. You've thrown out your late round sleepers, have you?
I can.
Do it.
I have been grabbing Foster Moreau everywhere I can. My late round picks have all been tight ends. Foster Moreau, Cahill Waring, Mr. Irrelevant himself, Caleb Wilson. That's his name, right?
Good.
And in Superflex, I mean, grabbing Tyree Jackson seems like a great idea because if Josh Allen's going to be running to 10,000 times, well, if he's going to be running for his life like he did last season, he's going to miss a game or two. So Tyree Jackson will probably be the backup just because he's similar-ish. So I'm a fan of that. The Cincinnati running backs, Rodney Anderson and Travion Williams. Williams will fill in for Gio next year when Gio's contract is up. Rodney Anderson is a wonderful backup for Mixon, assuming Anderson can actually stay healthy.
Yeah. Good logic.
Yeah. Bruce Anderson isn't really like a sexy name anymore because everyone knows him at this point. But if we can go back in time to like 2 weeks ago, and if I said Bruce Anderson, everybody would be like, "Ooh, okay." But yeah, still, I mean, if you can grab him in the 4th, that'd be wonderful. Even though he's going in the 3rd in some. Yeah. And I'm a fan of the Mileses, both Gaskin and Boykin.
Yeah,
I think Boykin's going to be pretty raw. Couple years, and I'm sure that people are sweating the Jackson spot.
But I mean, like, to me, like,
but I agree.
A year or two, he'll be a better Willie Snead, and Snead got a lot of targets at the end, last year with Jackson. So I think Boykin is in a good spot to, again, like you said, he's raw. So like maybe in a year or two, he'll definitely be the red zone target because he's giant, but he's also fast. Oh, yeah. So I don't think
he's
super athlete,
way more athletic than Snead too.
Yeah, so I think he can be in a good spot for a QB that would use a guy like him because he uses the tight ends and he's he's kind of the size of one, but he's faster.
Right.
So yeah, so I think and Myles Gaskin in Miami because he's the first running back pick of the new generation, the new system, the new coaching system, whatever you want to call them.
A little bit different too than Drake and Balaj. Drake.
Yeah, like he's a workhorse kind of guy. Like the amount of carries that guy has had, and he stayed healthy pretty much. So
yep.
I mean, maybe not this year, but next year he can be the guy for all intents and purposes. I mean, so it's worth just holding on.
There are a lot of guys in this just to prove the point or to send that message home that this was a good class. But I agreed with just about every player that you named as far as being value. Foster Moreau is one that stood out to me. I can't believe you said that. That's key. He could very well become the starting tight end for that team and become fantasy relevant. Quickly because they don't have anyone else really there. And he was a great prospect, a great player, a great locker room guy. Everything about that kid is going to get him on the field. And then, that's the opportunity that a tight end needs to become a pass catcher. A lot of those inline guys can do that. We've seen it. Kind of reminds me of like that leader, Jason Witten kind of. I'm not comparing him how he plays, but like that he's going to be the, that guy that they rally behind and he's on the field all the time. He's rah. Nobody really talked about him as one of the top tight ends, but before the end of the college season, before the draft, he was, talked about as one of the elite Devy tight ends out there. And I still think that he can become one of the better or best tight ends out of this class. And that's a guy that I got after the draft in some cases. Yeah. That stood out to me.
Yeah, but I mean, like if a tight end can be drafted out of LSU, a team that doesn't just pass the ball in general,
they don't.
Like, I feel like that has to mean something, right?
It does. Well said. Yeah, they don't. I mean, they just don't. They don't pass the ball. Running backs come out of LSU, and he's the fact that Gruden and team brought him in I think that speaks volumes too.
And,
They're very
and I'm a
selective with who
Seahawks
they bring in.
fan. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
a Seahawks
I
fan,
didn't
and
know
let me
that. How
tell
did I not
you
know
that Luke Wilson will never be a thing.
No.
So,
he
and that's
won't.
all they have there. And while they actually have better wide receivers now than they did last year when Jared Cook was actually being a thing,
Yeah.
it's still, I mean, there's no one else at tight end to really give him any sort of competition.
The
I think
guys
he'll
in the
walk
chat are
into
talking
having
about
one.
Darren Waller.
Who?
Darren Waller, yeah,
Who?
the receiver, one-time
The
tight end,
Ravens.
one-time
Who?
receiver from the Ravens, right? Exactly. I doubt he did
Never played.
anything.
What was it, like
Good luck,
Rotoviz
guys.
that loved that guy to no ends
Yeah.
when he was coming out? Yeah,
Exactly.
no, sorry.
He's
They're going crazy.
production-wise,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
They don't like what we're talking about.
No, Russ, I like all those guys you named. I mean, the tight ends, because this is a deep tight end class, and we forget about that.
The
And there are a lot
tight ends are
of
fun.
yeah, a lot of day two tight ends. Josh Oliver, you talked about Waring,
Knox.
Knox, Dawson Knox.
Yeah, Knox, I missed on him. Yeah.
Great names.
Has anyone actually drafted Drew Sample? Is he going to be
Yeah.
a thing?
At auction drafts, I saw him go, well before the end when people were spending like their, I get a player for the $1 minimum that I bid. I mean, he was bid up pretty good in one of the kitchen sink leagues I saw. So people are on to him, yeah.
Him or Uzoma, like who do we think is going to be the guy in Cincinnati? Like that's,
I mean, Uzoma at first. I mean, he's I think better than people think. He's a buy low, a value pick in startups. Right. Yeah.
In my points per blocking league samples going in the first round, so it's a great pick.
They need to do that, like with cornerbacks, like and I know you guys don't always play IDP, but like the bad cornerbacks. The bad quarterbacks are the sought-after guys. You can just stream them. You got to come up with scoring that works. Like, give tight ends their blocks. Then you don't have to worry about how many touchdowns they catch. How many blocks did your tight end get tonight?
All the pancakes.
All the pancakes. I was just about to say that. Thank you.
That'd be awesome.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles?
Pancakes.
I don't know how
pancakes over waffles.
The second time I've been asked that today.
Nice. I love it. What was your answer?
Waffles, hands down.
No, it's got to be pancakes.
No, I love waffles.
You're wrong, Outhouse.
Really?
J Mike, we're not doing the giveaway anymore.
Oh,
too late! You already tweeted it. It's in the ether. It's in the zeitgeist
to the
of Twitter.
name, the name guy, the one who didn't have one.
No one has screenshotted it. Just delete the tweet. Hurry, delete it.
I still want Tyler Eifert to have a successful year or two before.
Yeah, that guy's always hurt.
Retires.
Still
for him.
Still on Eifert.
First 3-4 games of the year, he's going to be great.
Nope.
So sad.
Brian, stop with the French toast thing. French toast has no dealing in this conversation.
Man, I like waffles and French toast both better than pancakes. That's amazing.
God damn it, Jeremy.
Sorry, man. I do like pancakes. They're in my top 3.
If you have pancakes made well, they're definitely better than waffles. But like if someone that doesn't know how to make them, I would go with waffles with the texture. You gotta know how to make pancakes. If you have good ones, they're better.
But
just come to Jersey. We'll get waffles at a diner, and you'll know what they should taste like.
I don't think necessarily sure, pancakes are difficult enough to just make, but I think the person who is eating them also matters because you can really ruin a pancake like that.
And who knew? From what Russ just said, apparently the Belgians settled in Jersey. I didn't know that.
I did not say waffles. I said pancakes.
You did say waffles. Oh, you meant pancakes, though. Okay.
But think about it. If you've got a 3 or 4 stack pancake, or if you've got the bigger ones and you got 2 or something, and you butter them up. First of all, the moment that you put butter on those first and second layers, like the butter doesn't even matter after about 15 seconds. And then you go with the syrup, and then that just soaks through the entire thing, and you basically have about 3 good bites of pancake. And then
you don't need, if you're buttering correctly, you don't even need syrup. Not to mention if you're adding any sort of fruit or chocolate chips.
Okay,
talk, Russ.
Because okay, I'm gonna throw it out there. My son loves chocolate chip pancakes. My daughter loves banana pancakes. When they eat 3 bites and then are done, I put that shit together and I feast on chocolate chip banana pancakes.
You guys are like the most inspiring group ever. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to drive over to the local Waffle House and just pig out. I'm so hungry right now.
I read a take, or maybe not read. I think I saw it on a TV show that you have 2 plates. You have one for your pancakes, and then you have one plate that you just throw the syrup into, and then you cut your pancake into whatever kind of size that you want, and then just basically use that plate.
My wife does that.
Oh, I like it.
I don't.
My wife actually does that. She is a cut and dipper.
It might make me like pancakes a little bit more.
You guys use real maple syrup, right?
Yeah, I do.
You have to.
Real maple syrup. Get the bourbon infused maple syrup. Put the bourbon in it. Oh,
bourbon. What? For breakfast?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yes.
Get that bourbon flavor. And
bourbon
when you make
in anything.
Yeah.
Ever. Always.
And when you make the pancakes, you got to on the griddle, you got to use a griddle. You got to you melt butter, and then you don't need the butter on the pancake. So you get a nice texture.
I agree with that. And then only syrup on the pancake, no butter. Yeah, no extra butter.
There you go. See,
honestly, I'm a pancake purist. I don't even put syrup on pancakes. A little bit of butter and I'm good. That's all I need.
You just love your carbs, don't you? Why don't you just eat carbs?
I haven't eaten carbs in so fucking long that man, if you put pancakes in front of me, I would literally not use any utensils. I would go face first into
Make it like a sandwich. Yeah.
No, F that.
It's a Euro.
Pancake hotline for Russ.
Another thing you can do, guys, you take a little lemon zest and you put it in your pancake batter. Lemon touch.
Lemon zest?
Oh yeah.
I can't do lemon. It's just lemon doesn't belong in real food to me. Lemon doesn't belong in food.
Liver goods high class. That's what he's bringing.
That is a high class move. I'll put it.
Lemon doesn't belong in baked goods or just things that have that texture to it. Pancakes definitely being one. I'm with you, Russ. But
I know, and tarragon on waffles. I mean, I can't sell that enough.
So,
do I need to tweak some pancake recipes now?
Do it.
I'll try that. So.
All right, so there's a 24-hour diner down the street for me. You guys in?
Yeah, I could probably get there in about 6 hours.
I wake up then. Let's do it.
We're with each other right now. At this point, we can at least just hang out with you.
I'll tether my laptop to my cell phone, keep the Wi-Fi going. We can do this.
Yep, the free Wi-Fi. Get the code. Well, J-Mike disappeared for a moment. Have we gone through? Russ, you said basically all tight ends, and then
he did. He really did.
Gaskin and Miles and let's see, Livergood. You said yours, Jeremy. You kind of mentioned yours earlier before we got into things.
Did we say Darwin Thompson? I don't remember if anyone listened to him. Receiving back in Kansas City, I feel like you'd need to go with him.
Yeah, the only running back that they drafted. I guess you have to, right?
Dexter Williams, I think that's his name, right? The guy in Green Bay. Because
that was
we talked about him.
Yeah, because Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams like to get hurt, so there's a chance he sees the field.
I like Barnes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's might be a little bit better of a fit, almost of what I mean. That's a huge stretch, but at least it's a guy that they drafted as opposed to Derrick Henry. So
he's a spell for Derrick Henry at this point until it comes the time where Henry's contract runs out and they just won't pay him because they don't feel a need to.
Right. Big time.
So I mean, when the hell did he get drafted? 2016. So what? One more year Henry has on his contract. So yeah, maybe in another year, assuming Titans don't do something in 2020 at the running back, maybe Barnes has some value.
Which I think every team will do something at running back in 2020.
Right? Unless you have a baller running back.
They're gone in 2020. Out by the 2020 draft, that no one is safe, like Saquon sell.
Yes, Brian Hart. How does that make you feel? Nice. Saquon's not safe.
I can't wait to sell get rid of all the 2020 picks to everybody who wants them and pays a premium for them. That's going to be fun for me.
Jonathan Taylor goes to the Giants in like the 3rd round, and everyone just starts sweating.
Right? That's the one thing no one's really talking about. That's actually rather brilliant. The saturation is going to make everyone drop like the wide receivers did this year. Like, think about how late those running backs are probably going to get drafted.
I know. It makes me y'all were talking about a few that kind of group together, and we're going way past what we need to be right now. But
just because J Mike's gone.
Yeah, J-Mike's just gone temporarily. But there's a few kind of around the 3rd round, and they're kind of drizzling, little syrup reference for you, into the 2nd round. Into the 2nd round is Madison, which we talked about, and Bryce Love. Guys that are, 3rd, 4th round picks, whatever, that are behind other guys that we're maybe don't trust entirely. And what did he just do?
Did he just go get some pancakes? Is that what happened?
Did he do it?
This is totally happening right now.
Oh my God! Did you really?
Now,
this is why you need
100%
open bar live.
100% usurp everything that you're talking about.
Usurp. He said usurp.
Like that.
There you go. Usurp.
Amazing, man.
See, that's why J Mike's the best of all of us.
One of my favorite things about pancakes is the ability to have just a dab of peanut butter right there in the middle.
Ooh.
No.
Yes.
Already
peanut butter on anything.
And these are pancakes left over from the Mother's Day breakfast that I did. So so we were talking about it, so I just figured I'd make it happen. But
you are inspired.
As you were saying, Gabe.
Bravo.
Yeah, you go ahead and feast up. I really didn't have much interest. What was I?
Hold on, I need to watch him take this first bite.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hate him. He really is enjoying that.
Yeah.
Move.
Yes.
Take it in.
Rub it in. I'm so hungry right now.
There's something about pancakes damn near midnight. I'll tell you what.
Damn near midnight.
I'm here. Yeah, Jim, we gotta get it here for everyone. But real quick, let's talk for another hour about this. Madison and the Bryce Love or whatever that are right behind guys that were maybe sweating a little bit. Like, what if we should be sweating Cook and Geis like next year because of the class that's supposedly coming in, or in 2021 or whatever it is, whenever they come out? Like, man, it's just so much change constantly that, like, literally no one is safe. I don't know. Like,
no, I mean, I understand where you're going with that. Like, we put all the stock in these players, and then the next draft, they're replaceable.
It's Trey Mason every year.
The stupid Rams, Zach Stacy, Trey Mason.
Yeah. Everyone's going to get Trey Mason next year. I'm serious.
Especially with running backs. It wasn't too long ago Eddie Lacy was taken in the 1st, 2nd round of Dynasty startups. So it happens with running backs. That's why you really need to make sure you invest in those core wide receiver assets. And yeah, you're totally right. Darius Geis, Dalvin Cook, those guys could be totally forgotten about next year, depending on what happens, how they play this year, that type of thing.
Eddie Lacy liked pancakes.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Benny Snell. You guys didn't talk about Benny Snell, and I really think his opportunity in Pittsburgh is really, really good. Obviously,
I was very worried where you were going with this for Jay Mike's sake.
They could turn us into running backs, the Steelers' offensive line, that team. I really think Benny Snell has a great opportunity. He's being drafted way too low.
You think he's more than just a backup to James Conner?
I mean, he's absolutely going to be a backup to James Conner now. I think he's capable of being a starting running back. And yeah, I mean, I just think he's not that far away from being a starter. Some of the guys, in this draft are 2 and 3 deep. This guy's got, an opportunity to play right away and, be the lead backup behind Conner. I mean, they don't have a lot of investment. I love James Conner. I mean, everything, the story about him, how well he played last year, all of it, I get it, but they just don't have a lot invested in that guy. And we know they can turn just about anyone into a running back. I'm just saying that I think I would draft him higher than he's going based on that situation that he's got there.
Yeah, and he's a solid running back. He doesn't do anything super well, but yeah, he could definitely fit that role. Something happens to James Conner if he gets hurt, heaven forbid. Yeah, he can step in and he's a guy you could flip for a 2021 pretty easily. If he steps into that lead role in Pittsburgh.
And I think he's just got what it takes to be a starting running back pretty quickly based on the volume of work that he did in college. So I'm higher on him I think than a lot of others. I've heard running, and I've seen in drafts too he's available late. I don't understand why, because there's so many the backs you've named that have gone earlier, and it seems like there are more backs in front of him. I mean, like Homer, a couple backs in front of him, Snell maybe just one. And I like Travis Homer too, but I'm just saying the path to relevance is a little shallower or a little shorter for Snell.
I'm not sure who this person is in Trade Addict 6, but his Twitter handle is jmickcheck. Not sure. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Who's that guy?
But 212 drafted Benny Snell, I think his name is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Kentucky fan, and I want him on my team. Too high? Yes. Oh, well, I'm going to have fun. Hashtag Snell, yeah, was the comment.
I don't remember that. Good work. Good work, J. Mike. Kentucky,
no, but I don't remember if I said it now or if I said it on, whatever the hell podcast I was recording yesterday. Oh, yeah, that's right. Trade Addicts podcast. Why are we?
I'm not sure you plugged that enough tonight. Could you say it a couple more times?
What's the Twitter handle for Trade Addicts Pod? I need to know.
I forgot. Is it Dynasty Trades HQ? Yeah, at Dynasty Trades HQ. I think
at FF Joe's follows you. I'm not sure, but
J Mike, do we have a plug that we can share? Oh wait,
but why would we draft Benny Snell any later than we drafted Connor 2 years ago? Because it's the same position, right? You drafted James Conner hoping is the absolute wrong word. I apologize. On the chance that Lev Bell got hurt, right? And because when that happens is James Conner's going to walk in and he's going to be the guy. I mean, yeah, Jalen Samuels will probably get some of the passing work, but if James Conner goes down, Benny Snell's getting those first two downs. Easy, right? J Mike? He's going to be that guy.
Listen, I'm not the one to ask this for an unbiased opinion.
I wasn't looking for an unbiased opinion. That's why I asked you.
I'm not the one. I am Snell, yeah, through and through. Between him and Damian Harris, like I said, literally the only reason I don't have both of them in the early second spot is because things were crazy right around the time of the draft for me. So literally, I would have both of them on every single team if I had it my way. But big Benny Snell fan, super productive. And for the fact of people to dismiss him, and yes, he could be a backup and Connor could be amazing and nothing could come of it. Obviously, that's the case for a lot of guys. But if he gets an opportunity, he's been as productive in college as anyone else, if not more so, in one of the toughest conferences that there is. On top of that, he's going into, as people call it, the nut situation, in that we've seen Pittsburgh running backs be wildly productive for years now. I'm not saying he's Lev Bell. I'm not saying he's James Conner, but I'm saying that he can be productive in that offense, and it's worth a shot in your late seconds. I'm probably going to take him sooner because, again, I'm from Lexington, and I'm wildly biased. So that's me. Snell, yeah, through and through. Gabe, I don't care if you scoff at it. I don't care if you hate it. I don't care if you don't want me to co-host with you anymore.
Yeah, nice.
Actually, I do care very much about that. That's not
shotgun J Mike if Gabe breaks off. Sorry, Brian.
But Benny Snell is me worth throwing hands over. Who wants these hands? That's all I want. Who wants these hands?
I'm with you, man.
Rant over. Thank you for that, Russ. I appreciate it. That was therapeutic.
J Mike, I don't know if I've ever really hated against Snell. Is it just the Kentucky thing or what?
I'm obviously. No, I just, when you give the look that you're giving right now, the one where you where you can't see your mouth and your eyes have zero emotion.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to scold me for saying something or if you're going to be excited for me. It's the same look. It's your poker face and you do it incredibly well. And I don't know how you feel. Like that's the same look that you give when I said we're gonna have a giveaway and you were kind of semi-excited about it. And it's also the same look that you give when we talk about Damian Williams for 30 minutes. Like that's
the same look I gave you when you talked about Damian Williams.
I was scared when Livergood started talking about Hardman again. I was a little bit
having flashbacks.
That's the problem, and I don't blame anyone that doesn't listen. Our guests that are here tonight, or other guests that don't like listen week to week, because like why would you? But if you come on and then don't realize that like we literally just talked about Cole Hardman, we literally just talked about Damian Williams week to week.
Yeah, you had the Hardman, Christian Kirk, parallel.
He hates those people, Ryan. That's not a you problem. That's a gay problem. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm. Yeah, you're right. It is.
100%. Yeah,
that's a me problem. All right. But I do appreciate Snell. I think that when you said that, I'm not saying he's Lev Bell. I'm not saying he's James Conner. I think you're just saying that he's a Pittsburgh running back, though. Like Conner and Bell are like so different.
Exactly.
I mean, Conner's probably closer to Snell, really, than he is to Bell. Like athletically, like kind of draft capital, their build, like. I don't know necessarily the tape standpoint from how they run, but I don't know. I think that they're pretty similar, and he could have a shot. So Snell, yeah, is that what you said?
Snell, yes.
Hashtag Snell, yeah. Toot toot.
Well, with that said, J-Mike, should we?
No.
We running for the record?
No.
We keep it going?
Yeah. Keep it going.
And Devin Singletary, there's another guy. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, seriously, what's the deal with everyone loving Singletary?
I love Devin Singletary. We could talk about every player, though.
I don't like Devin Singletary.
I knew I could get him.
There's nothing to like about Devin Singletary's situation right now. Okay, LaShawn McCoy's probably going to be gone before the season starts. I get
TJ Yeldon time, baby.
Yes,
I do
exactly.
Like time,
and let's be honest, the Immortal is going nowhere unless he wants to. Frank Gore will never go away unless he chooses to.
That guy is amazing.
For 6 years, I have every single year said this is the year Frank Gore is going to fall off that cliff. And
well, you're bound to be right.
I'm going to say it until I am.
Just double down.
That's the truth. Every single year, this is the year.
That's like Madman talking about Perriman every year. Like,
I'm never cutting him.
Yeah, we all
just like Corey Coleman and Josh Doxson, baby.
Yeah.
Bring it back around.
Parker. We talked a lot.
Yeah, no, Devontae Parker's gone.
We had a lot of football talk. J. Mike.
You want to bring up tacos like you were doing in the Trade Addict 6 group chat?
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
And if you're still sticking with us, guys, great. Let's have a really, really quick draft. Can we do that?
Do it.
Let's do it.
Taco draft?
So, first of all,
is this a taco draft?
Does everyone love tacos?
If the answer is no, get out.
Yeah, love them. Love them.
Okay.
Really? I don't know that I know different kinds. I'm just like, hey, taco.
I'm trying to think of the different kinds of tacos. That's the problem.
I know.
How many are there?
Too.
This is my draft.
Get some culture, you guys.
Well, there's your Taco Bell. There's your. I'm just kidding.
Fuck.
Get out.
Hey, Mike, I think we better wrap this up. I'm just gonna end up being mad.
Damn it, madman.
I'm gonna end up being the madman. Headed straight to the asylum.
It's not even like a place for tacos, but like what you want in your tacos. Like, for example,
taco, I know.
Hey, a steak taco, like whatever it may be. So on the YouTube video,
there are names for tacos. Come on.
I'm just saying, Russ, you're 101. I'm 102. Bruin, you are 103. Livergood, 104. Running up the rear, Gabe, 105.
All right.
Is
So
this a snake draft?
No.
I don't know if I can get past one or two rounds.
A lightning fast taco draft.
Holy cow.
I'm picking one thing, or am I picking my ideal taco?
Ideal
You can
taco.
pick the
Just bring
toppings.
it.
You can say the name. You can do both. It's
All
all
right.
you,
So,
baby.
I mean, there's no name for it. I need some steak. I need some cheese. Lettuce or cabbage. I need some crunch in there. Some nice, thinly sliced. I'm down with some guac. Yeah, two drink. Thank you for setting me straight. I said avocado, right? And he's like, you might as well just say guac because that's the right answer. Yes, because guac is just avocado and pico, and those two things would go on my taco anyway. So that is the basis: steak, cheese, guac, and something for a crunch. Probably some cabbage, and anything else you want to throw in there is just gravy, hot sauce on everything.
Yeah, hot sauce.
Steak tacos at 101 for Outhouse. At 102, I'm going with, this is a tough decision for me. I'm a huge shrimp taco fan.
Garlic. Got to be garlic.
Cilantro, lime, and
Ooh,
shrimp tacos.
Ooh, yeah.
And life is good for me.
Yes.
That's all I got to say.
I'm getting some tacos for lunch tomorrow.
Bruin,
Nice.
103.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with some kind of a fish taco because everything else I'm gonna go with fish. Pretend I'm near the ocean, so and not fried, grilled fish. I know fried works for a lot of people,
Wrong.
so I'm going grilled with
Wrong.
and you have to have some guac. Yeah, no, you took my steak. Steak would have been my first choice. He was my Saquon Barkley, but you took it, so now I'm going with my Zeke. Leave me alone. So cilantro on that. I agree with the crunch. I don't know what I want to put on that for crunch. Definitely not. Maybe cabbage because that goes better on fish than it does on steak. Steak needs not cabbage. So I'm going cabbage.
You said that, Russ.
Cilantro, a little lime, definitely the spice, but grilled, not fried, and a little bit of guac. What do they call it? It's like a creamier version of guac. I don't know what they do to it, but that's ideal. After steak, that's what I want. That grilled fish taco. And they actually have them right down the street, but it's closed. Damn it.
Liver good.
Oh man, it's tough because you've kind of taken the top ones, but I'm gonna go with like a little Asian fusion taco. So I'm gonna go with like a raw tuna with like a crunchy taco shell. There was this sushi place in Belmont, Massachusetts we go to. It's called Tuna Tacos. So basically, it's like a raw tuna, kind of like Asian meets taco. I guess that's what I'm going with. Is the
I'm there for that, man.
I am too.
Asian fusion taco. That's my.
Everybody was going for the shitty receivers, and you just Michael Thomas'd it right up.
Seriously.
It's your
Korean
guy.
tacos for the win.
You gotta think outside the box when you have number 4 picks. So
Wow.
Well done.
That's the Mecole Hardman of taco picks.
Oh shit!
I love you, Gabe.
I love how like, hey, you guys like tacos? Ryan's like, yeah. And then he busts out that edge.
And that was way better than his pickup line. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Food, I'm good. Pickup lines, not so much.
Yeah. You nailed it on the taco one way or the other. But we'll wait for that one for everyone to laugh on that. No.
Hit the laugh track button. There we go.
Hey guys.
Gabe,
I just want to share this name that I came up with for a taco.
Okay.
I typically, Austin is the taco capital of the world. At me, if you would want.
Unofficial or official? Did you just like make this up for yourself because you were there?
If you go somewhere in Mexico,
Austin does literally claim to be that. I think that people don't like it.
Okay, gotcha.
So bring all the hate towards me. At. But I just want to. So I typically make this order wherever I'm going for tacos. But I want to share a name for one that I usually get. It is not my 105, but it is a taco that I enjoy. An honorable mention, per se, J Mike. Let's see if you guys can figure this one out. It's really tough. It's called a pochigzo.
Oddly sounds familiar. I don't know what that is though, but yeah.
Potatoes, cheese, eggs, chorizo.
Ooh, I'm down.
That's good.
Taco.
Yeah, breakfast
Chorizo
taco.
and
Love
eggs.
it. Love it.
Chorizo. No,
I like it.
no, breakfast tacos are probably the best. Right next to you know what? Y'all said some good tacos. Like the fish is one that I would get down with the most. El Pastor is definitely
Yes,
right up
El
there with me.
Pastor.
Yeah, I love
Definitely.
those.
I was going to
Same.
mention that if no one else did. Yeah.
Yep. Cilantro, the lime, all the goods, but pineapple,
Yep.
marinated in. I don't need the pineapple on it.
Yeah.
The organic shit doesn't have the pineapple on it. All right, but mine is my go-to. It's breakfast. It is none other than migas. It is so simple, but it's got your crunch, Russ. Okay, it's got the tortilla chips crumbled on top.
Ooh.
It's eggs and onions and peppers. It is so delectable, baby. There is no other choice than the migas taco. You put whatever sauce you want on there. I don't care. Rojo? Is that what it is?
Rojo? Bringing it back to football. I like it.
Yeah, Rojo, a little Verde, huh?
Yeah, the green sauce is delicious.
Yeah. I could go on tacos, J Mike. So that was the worst thing you could have brought up at 2 hours, 20 minutes in. Because I could totally go about 18 rounds on that. Oh my goodness! But thank you for bringing it up in the first place, my man.
There's a chicken teriyaki taco that is wonderful that actually has the pineapple in the taco, which is worth it. That's where it needs to be.
Barbecue beef brisket on tacos with the. I mean, just there's so many things.
Yep. There's a
any Korean food inside of a taco is fantastic.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mercy.
No, Korean street tacos are goat because you got the kimchi. So that's it right there.
I'm just trying to break the record for longest open bar. That's all I'm trying to do right now. I hope you guys realize this.
I just know Ryan. I don't know what the record is, but I know that Ryan, as a librarian, I don't think that he's going to appreciate the fact that he's going to be sleeping all day when people are going to be asking him to look up to find certain books of whether or not they're in.
It's a quiet environment, though. Come on.
Exactly. Too quiet, which would give him the ability to fall asleep sitting up straight on the job.
Dude, I'm about to be on a conference call for like at least a good 2 hours in the middle of the day tomorrow, closing my office door, and I'm going to be in deep concentration on the call I'm on.
I have a call that starts in 7 hours at 7:30. These new agile things we're doing. They schedule at 7:30. I'm like 7:30 to 8 to have this touch point meeting. That's when I'm getting my kids ready for the bus, and they get on the bus. I can't talk to you.
That's a good reason to quit a job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Carnitas, man. Guys, like get the carnitas taco and the pickled. I don't know why, but like
bringing up pickled onions. Hey, Zach.
Just, on the pork, it's just you can put them on anything, but like the pickled onions on the pork, and then you can. I love that. That's amazing. So I could eat like 6 of those right now. I think.
Is the Tacit Assassin with us still?
No, I haven't seen him comment in a while in the mythical chat.
He goes to bed early.
I think we're hovering right around the record. I don't know what the record is, but I know that it's more than 2 hours, and I
there was
know
one
that we are more than 2 hours.
You had the EP on a few weeks ago, and it was like right around draft time where you had like a good 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Breakfast taco at 105. This is the steal of the draft by a mile. That's awesome.
Who said that?
Ethan Turner.
Ethan.
Doctor.
My guy.
He's a PT, but still we call him Doctor.
Doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because of the doctorate physical therapy. Yeah, my wife's an occupational therapist. I don't call her doctor. I mean,
what do you call her, Jeremy?
I tell you, it's not safe for the show.
I feel like there's no rating on this show.
She's my favorite girl, though. I tell her that.
Thank goodness Shane Manila is not here right now. Please, thank you, because he would explain in detail why he calls her what he calls her.
Wait, what? I missed something. Tell me that. Tell me the story.
No, I'm saying this is the type of stuff that you guys have to guard against on Trades HQ because
good God,
off the rails about his pet name for his wife or something crazy. I'm sure.
Shane is nuts. Love working with that guy.
Should we do a mock rookie draft since everyone else is doing it?
No.
I think that's hilarious.
That's original content right there.
103, Ron.
2.5 hours in. Let's finally start our rookie mock.
Guys, stay tuned.
All the mock straight.
0.5 hours in for our mock draft.
I mean, you're joking, but I'm down if you guys are.
Let's do it. Me too.
Russ, earlier, Brian in the chat hit us. Brian said, "Why are you still up, Russ?"
Seriously, like once 11 o'clock hits while we're recording our show is when I start, bringing out the man, I'm tired. But also, I don't usually hit up 2 gigantic glasses of vodka while recording my show.
Fair.
It's dangerous.
Gabe, we had a 2 hour and 36-minute show. That was the Jake Anderton episode.
Anderton.
Which I love because that is
That
now
was my
his team name in
favorite thing
Trade Addict
ever.
7.
Yep.
That was a pretty.
That is his name in my phone.
I'm not seeing it that one. I think that might take the cake.
I see that one there, 235. Yeah, we're probably hovering around that. I don't know when we started, but we always say, 8:45, 9:45-ish. So
This is the record.
we got to hover.
You mean we didn't start at 9:30? Always on time?
It was 9:30 and some change there.
Yeah.
What is time really, Russ? What is time?
Oh, now we're
Science has not
philosophical.
proven that
Finally.
time actually exists. I'll just throw that theory out there.
All right.
Spans through the hourglass.
Okay.
So are the days of our lives.
Frank Gore.
Frank
101. Frank Gore.
Uh-huh.
We just do a startup. That'll take us 3 more hours, right? Great about rookie drafts.
Or startup. Go.
Who's
That's what
first?
the ish stands for in 930. Exactly, Har. 930-ish. That's exactly what it means. Ish. All right, but for real, I got it. No, I can't keep doing this, Gabe. I've had to.
You know what? Let's edge Outhouse just like I was tonight with the Lakers not getting the number 1 overall pick. Like I would have been fine with 11, but I'm not okay with 4. Don't do me like that, Zion.
How? Like, I get that you got your hopes up, but isn't 4 still better than 11?
Yeah, in general, Outhouse, but just like emotionally, it hurt, man.
But
don't you?
No, I don't get it. What? I mean, I don't even really understand the idea of basketball as a sport in general. I mean, like, ever since Patrick Ewing retired, I don't think basketball mattered in New York. And let's face it, basketball never mattered in New Jersey.
Okay, how about this?
You had a Jeremy Lin stint, right?
Who's your
Jeremy Lin? Yeah.
Who? Linsanity. Oh, okay. I didn't know that guy had a real name.
Who's your favorite player to draft right now? Outhouse.
Football?
Yeah, and rookies. Rookie draft.
Favorite rookie?
Yeah, who is it? Tell me.
I mean,
name all the tight ends. I'm just kidding.
Favorite, I don't know, but I've been ending with so much JJ Arcega-Whiteside just because of where he's been.
Where is he in ADP, J Mike?
Say that one more time. Who?
Sega.
Sega.
He's number 9.
9. And just like probably not a super flex, like a standard thing, whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, all my leagues are super flex, so I mean, I've been getting around the 112ish.
Okay, so we'll say his ADP is around 112. Now check this.
Okay.
You have a pick at 305, and no one is letting you trade up. You go through the entire second round, and people are taking McCole Hardman, Hollywood Brown, Justice Hill, Irv Smith, Daniel Jones. They're taking everyone but Sega, and it is what did I say? Pick you had 305, and it is the 304, and you're still trying to trade up, and that motherfucker won't let you trade up. And who does he take? Sega.
He takes Sega.
Our Sega.
How does that make you feel, man? How does that feel?
Not great. I'm going to be honest.
Right?
Not great.
Not incredibly great, man. Just saying. You know, you're going to be fine. Everything's fine. But you know, it hurts, man.
Is this a class? Is this I mean, I know literally zero about basketball, but sometimes there is a class where there's more than 4 dudes that actually matter.
Nice.
Because I know basketball is the kind of sport where once you pass the lottery, it doesn't matter anymore. But maybe the number 4 guy matters. I just want you to be happy, Gabe. That's all I care about.
That's true. You know what? We're trading that pick away, anyways. I will
trade it away.
I actually like Ja Morant like a lot, and J Mike and I will probably talk about that at some point later. But man, that dude can ball. So, anyways, let's did we do it? Did I edge you enough? Are we there? Let's see. It's got to be. Oh, I bet it's close. I really want to end it like now.
Oh, dude, if you give me a chance to sign off, it's going to last 20 minutes just to make sure we get the longest episode.
Yeah. We always do outros for way too long anyway. So we've made it. We'd definitely make it. Anyone else have anything to say before we do an outro here? Are we good?
Can we talk
like
more
all
about
the tight ends in this class, just like Russ.
Tight end mock draft. Go.
Look, Irv Smith is just really not as appreciated as he should be. I mean, everyone's talking about. I have nothing to say. I just really wanted to keep talking.
Well, we'll start with you then. Say your words, Outhouse. Say your goodbyes. I promise we will reach the eclipse of the record of the longest running open bar. This is all you, baby.
Oh, I mean, the amount I love you guys can literally not be measured in this world. If I could be any other podcast hosts other than myself, it would be you guys. Besides, I was listening to the Dynasty Dummies mock draft that just happened, and even Kyle was like, I'm just going to let J Mike do this because that's how good he is. And then J Mike started speaking, and I'm just like, holy shit, man. Like, I want to be J Mike when I grow up. That's what I want to be. So,
Admirable.
like, the love that is thrown in the direction of this magic screen where I can see you guys, like, I literally relish the opportunity to be on this show any chance you give me, except for when that man named Zach Reed is on, because he ditched my show. So I will not be on the same show as him.
Oh, no.
But no, seriously, thank you for letting me on. I love being here. I love talking to you guys. And it is just so much fun to just the fact that you guys let me be the ass that I really am with no like holding me back is just great. So I appreciate it. And seriously, the love for you guys knows no bounds. So thank you. And good night, everybody.
Wow.
Oh, Trade Addicts is a show I host, and Brian Haar. Everybody love Brian Haar. He's the man. Go talk to him.
Haar said that he was going to perform the intro on his open bar appearance, right?
Yes, we have to get Brian Haar on next week, so he will do his own rendition of Gabe's Open. And yes, Russ is very drunk, Brian.
Wow.
Russ, just to give you a heads up, in the chat, we actually got the 528 show scheduled. We just need one.
Look at that. We are working.
Yeah. So Ethan Turner and Brian Haar, since they're like the last ones left in the chat, they're be joining us on 528. So
that's cool.
I'm pretty sure that literally is just those two, isn't it?
Love it.
Wow. Amazing. All right. Yeah. Ethan's definitely welcome after he, joined my team and made my bias stronger. So thanks, Ethan. Yes, Russ, thank you for the kind words, and one of my favorite people to hang out with in New York. Don't tell Jake. And we will meet up again soon, hopefully.
Yes.
In Jersey, baby.
Jersey.
No, stick to New York. Jersey's not that great.
Yeah, you're right. All right, the Madman up next. What do you have to say to us? You can talk about my mom now.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It truly is a privilege. I'm not quite as well spoken as Russ, but I have to say, you guys are legends. Your podcast is notorious. Everybody wants to be on here. I am really glad to be on here for a second time. I appreciate it. I know, you could have had anyone on, and I'm appreciative of you having me on to talk all this football stuff. I'm at Dynasty Trades HQ with Shane Manila. Some people know who he is, and Michael Sipes. Those are my guys. That's my favorite thing. Do a little writing out there at Fantasy Pros. And yeah, thanks for having me. I'll come back anytime, and we'll get you guys on to do a mock draft because everybody does mock drafts. So we wanted to throw that out there. And bring tacos or pancakes. It doesn't matter which, just one or the other.
Yo, take a pancake.
Can you
turn it into
pancake
a taco?
taco?
I know. What? I'm sure Taco Bell's done that.
All right, let's talk about this for another 20 minutes.
They do everything. They do everything at Taco Bell. Hey, let's put this in there. Look.
It really freaked me out when they made an egg a shell for a taco. That just really was enough.
It seems like something I did in college just because I had no other food, and they're selling it.
Yeah, the things you could do when you're broke is pretty amazing.
Creative, yeah. The mother of all invention. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Madman. Appreciate you. Hopefully we can get you on sooner than December 2017 until now. That gap is hopefully shorter for the next time, but do appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Who do we have next? The liver good. Remember. That liver good. My man, good to meet you tonight.
Likewise.
It was great. What do you have to say to the people?
When you guys asked me on the show, I kind of felt like, remember Admiral Stockdale? He was Ross Perot's running mate. I'm aging myself. Yeah. Help me out, Jeremy. Yeah, you remember.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. So, yeah, how do you know about
it? Yeah, Jeremy's old. He knows this.
No, I'm 42. So he's like,
you're what?
The first debate, like, he's like, who am I? What am I doing here? And I kind of feel that way that you guys asked me on the show. I'm a co-host of a very small Dynasty podcast, the Fantasy Joe's podcast. We're at FF Joe's. I'm at Roto Librarian. So just to be on with you guys, it's awesome. And to echo what Outhouse and Madman have said, you guys are great hosts. I mean, really, among the Dynasty community, Gabe, J. Mike, you guys you're just great. I mean, this show was so much fun. The chat, the camaraderie that you have, just to be a part of this was a blast, and I had so much fun. So I just thank you for asking me on the show. This was just so much fun. Just talking about tacos and waffles versus pancakes and whatever we talked about tonight. It was a blast. So thank you so much. Good times.
Absolutely. I literally don't know what we talked about tonight.
But that's the great thing. You guys can talk about whatever. You pull us right in along with you. That's there's an art to that.
For sure.
Yeah, you guys are good. Keep it up, and have me back every week along with Outhouse and Liver Good and all the other people that want to come on every week.
Well, gosh, that's going to be really hard, guys. If
Big room.
Bring on the same people every week.
We're on YouTube.
Yes, thank all three of you. This has been great. Really, really good. Just combination of people tonight. I enjoyed it. It was too much fun. J. Mike, would you like to say some words to our guests, to our people?
Please do.
Yeah, this is where everyone starts listening, J. Mike.
Poetry.
You know this. You're becoming America's the equivalent of Captain America and his ass. This is America's voice. J. Mike, check.
Gabe, I just need you to know that I love you 3,000.
Oh God, why are you making me cry at 1 o'clock?
I love you, Andre 3000, baby.
I love you 3,000. So, to our guests, I am almost moved to tears. I'm just humbled by the appreciation, the love. Thank you guys for the kind words. Thank you guys for joining us little show where we talk a lot of nonsense and a little fantasy and get to know people and try to have a lot of fun. So we enjoy the heck out of it. Thank you guys for being with us. To everyone in the chat, to specifically Brian Haar and Ethan Turner, who have been here.
Hey, this might be the longest open bar, but they are the longest, viewers of an episode. So I mean, that's certainly something to mention.
Brian, I know that you are married. It is not that far off from Mother's Day. Man, just make sure you're still married after this.
Yeah, his wife's been probably asleep for the last 2 hours or so, something crazy.
You know it.
To everybody that rock with us in the chat, thank you guys for rocking with us. Tons of fun this evening. We'll be back again next week with another set of guests. Excited for that as well. And obviously, Brian and Ethan, as we've said, precursor to a couple weeks from now, 528, they'll be joining us, and we'll get one more and figure it out. But to everyone that's checking us out in podcast form, thank you so much for downloading. Thank you so much for checking us out. And whether it be Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, whatever it may be, thank you so much for checking us. And again, the offer still stands. More than happy to be able to get you a free T-shirt. In that, we'll have the bingo wheel going again next week. We're looking to give away a T-shirt. You give us a review, show us some love. We'll enter your name in that. We'll do it live on the show for credibility, because that's what the people need, and we're happy to do it. So
I'm winning next week.
Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone checking us out, listening. Thank you. We are humbled to do it. I'm on Twitter at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. My main man Gabe is on Twitter at FFManBun. The show's handle is at the Open Bar FP, as in fake pigskin. What up, crew? And to everyone, just thank you so much. This is way too much fun, and it's absurd that we get to do it. So, with all that said, again, the openbar.storenvy.com. If you do want to check out our shirts, we've got more randomness coming in the coming weeks as well with designs and whatnot. If you feel so inclined, Girls Clout Cookies, what up? You out there.
What?
But
It's true, man.
Again, Bungie, Gabe, my main man, take us home.
Seriously, one of the truest hashtags ever. I don't even know what else to say, dude. You said it all. You did it so well, and I'm exhausted myself. We're like literally going on. Like if we started on time, it would have been a 3-hour show. And that is nuts. But this has been absolutely amazing. Go check out all these guys' podcasts. I was looking at you because I try to type everyone's podcast handle in, and Madman, you're on a few podcasts, dude.
Yeah. I failed to mention at Best Ball Manual with Brad Reyes. Yeah, very, very good co-host. We just started. We have 2 episodes out. I'm actually editing the 3rd. Some guests lined up. Jennifer Eakins. Oh my God, I just lost the other. Chris. Elliot Chris. Sorry. Those 2 are
my invite.
The Monday Mommy.
Yeah, those 2 are our first 2 guests. We'll do those guests. And, there's a famous person that did our intro for Best Ball Manual. You need to just, even if you don't listen to the podcast, listen to the intro of that podcast. And it's our fearless rapper in charge here, Man Bun, with genius lyrics and unbelievable. And I hear it actually sounds really good at 1.5 or 2 times speed. So speed it up and slow it down, and you're going to laugh and love that song. But yeah, Best Ball Manual, Brad Reyes, he's great. Hopefully we'll give you some education there. I'm learning some things too. And Off the Rails Dyno is just something I do with some friends. Outhouse is supposed to come on soon. We just anything that's out there, any narrative, any trend, anything like that, we just like to shoot holes in it. We like to take it off the rails. So we're untracking all those hyped things whenever we get a chance. And there's a few episodes out there. We do that probably quarterly. So yeah, man, I'm all about Stratocasting and podcasting these days. The whatever the wife lets me do, really, around the house, as long as I'm home, which podcasting and Stratocasting lets me do. Stay home.
Yeah.
Be here for the
night. You were free reign. Be able to do a 3-hour pod. My goodness.
Drinking beer, good buds.
Yeah.
I think you're half awake now at this point, man bun.
It's gone. I'm not sure if you guys are the same people or if we're already like into next week and J Mike didn't tell me. Yeah.
Add another hour. No. That's the best.
That's what happened. That's what happened when I was recording that. I was like walking around that. Yeah. Shout out to all y'all doing your podcast. We know that grind and what it takes. So keep doing you, whether you're a listener or guest on this show. We love all of you. And if you want an intro, maybe I'll help you with that if I have some time in the future. I'm gonna helped a particular individual out this week and should be dropping.
Be a little self-serving right now. Patreon.com/genius. Throw it out there.
That's true. Yeah. Good
point.
I
don't ask for.
Well, I do, and whenever the hell I actually edit the new Trade Addicts, it's at the end of there too.
Cool.
So
I do actually genuinely appreciate that. All right. So next week, J Mike said we have a show. I'm gonna have to believe him. Otherwise, I'll just send a link to an empty space and we'll see what happens.
I just tried to find your Patreon account on Google, and I came across the Lazy Genius Collective is creating the Lazy Sisters. These sisters share their love of candles and James McAvoy. I guess that's not it, right? That's not
that's actually Gabe.
That was my first attempt at Patreon. Yeah,
it's the letter G.
I know that niche is like really unique, but so is fantasy football podcast intros. So
I know.
James McAvoy is actually my pseudonym.
Hey, JM, it fits, man.
Exactly.
100. All right. Put your gosh darn drinks up, fools.
It's empty, but
this has been a blast. Cheers to you if you're listening, if you're watching. Cheers to the people hanging out with us. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. We appreciate everyone breathing on this planet and other planets and galaxies. We know you're out there. Come on. Speak to us. Give us a sign. Give us a sign.
Let us know how you feel about Mecole Hardman.
Fuck. All right. Until then, next week we will see y'all later.
Or Damian Williams.
Stop.
Love you all.